Your three-point shooting is a staggering 99 Funtarum. Even Curry would call you a beast. But even so, you've drifted through 8 teams in the NBA because coaches never gave you a chance. You haven't proven your worth on any team. Until the last day of your 10-day contract with the Lakers, the opportunity finally arrived. Lakers are currently down 80 to 110. They're trailing the Warriors by a full 30 points. As with many previous games, the Lakers' offense is stagnant. Their 3 for 18 shooting from deep is atrocious. Meanwhile, the Warriors' star Steph Curry has entered God mode again. Shooting 11 for 15 from three-point range, he alone outscored the entire Lakers team from deep. There are only 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Seeing no hope of a comeback, the Lakers head coach has already pulled LeBron and AD. Benching all the starters, LeBron is looking down. Focused on biting his fingernails, AD is looking at the court, but his mind is clearly elsewhere. In this atmosphere, the head coach shakes his head helplessly. His gaze sweeps across the bench and finally lands on you. This young man from the East, though his talent seems average, and Hayes had 0 playing time with the Lakers. He is always hardworking in training and stays humble and low-key. The coach actually quite likes you. Since tonight is the last night of your 10-day contract, he decides to give you a chance to perform. The Lakers want to give you another 10-day, but if another team sees you, you might just land your next job, even if the odds are basically 0. Thinking of this, the coach beckons you over Wong. Time to show what you can do. You had been staring at the coach the whole time. Hearing him call your name, adrenaline rushes to your head. You stand up with a start. It's been 3 months since you last stepped on the court. Finally, you are on an NBA court once again. Right then, a voice rings in your mind. Host, congrats on playing for the Lakers. System reward activated. God tier three-pointer. Duration, 10 minutes. Your footsteps falter. Before you can think, the referee signals you to enter. You quickly jog onto the court. At the same time, in the Penguin NBA livestream across the ocean, the 2 commentators see you on screen. They mention it casually. Our player Wang Yi is checking in. Let's see how he performs. There was no detailed intro, just that simple mention. After all, you've been a benchwarmer for 2 years. It's obvious to everyone. Neither of the commentators expects much from you. The live chat is full of insults. I see this guy as soon as I join the stream. What bad luck. Hayes embarrassing us abroad. Just pack up and come home. When you first joined the NBA, hopes were high. The domestic fans hyped you to the moon, but a wrist injury during practice led to poor performances on court. Coupled with the fact that many NBA coaches have prejudices against Asian players, you weren't given chances. Slowly, you became a marginal player. Most domestic fans started bashing you, wishing you'd just disappear. Though some understand your situation, they are far outnumbered by those who hate on you. Back at Staples Center, Lakers take the ball out. As the shooting guard, you head to the front court after the inbound. The other Lakers on the floor only get minutes during garbage time. Finally getting a chance to play, they all want to prove themselves. Nobody wants to play team ball. In 2 possessions, the other 4 each took a shot, and all of them missed. Instead, the lead widened further, reaching 35 points. Finally, on the 3rd possession, you get the ball at the top of the arc. The moment you touch it, your spirit feels revitalized. You feel yourself, filled with an indescribable power, as if you've dominated the court for decades. Your shooting hand feels incredibly hot. Seeing the defender in front of you, standing in a lazy stance, you jump without hesitation. A textbook shooting form. With a beautiful slight fadeaway, the ball arcs beautifully through the air, nothing but net. A gorgeous three-pointer. However, this shot barely drew any attention. Compared to a 30-plus point deficit, 1 three-pointer is just a drop in the bucket. A third of the crowd has already left. Most remaining fans are chatting or playing on their phones. Across the ocean, in the Penguin livestream, the 2 commentators are talking, discussing the team standings. They didn't even notice your beautiful three-pointer. The chat, however, has many snarky comments. Oh, he actually made a 3. Must be pure luck. Don't talk about luck. If he makes 2 more, he'll eat dog shit. The game continues on the court. After a Warriors miss, the Lakers attack again. After a miscommunication between 2 Lakers, the Warriors almost got the steal. Luckily, the ball bounced toward you, receiving it at the top of the arc. Without any hesitation, you pull up and shoot. You are feeling incredibly hot right now. If you don't give it your all now, you might never play in the NBA again. After tonight's contract expires, then let alone your dreams, even basic survival would be difficult. Swish, the ball sails through the air, hitting nothing but net again. Another beautiful three-pointer. 86 to 115. The lead is cut to 29. Even though it's just 1 shot, it still didn't cause a stir in the crowd. Only the Lakers head coach claps hard, giving you encouragement. LeBron stops biting his nails. He claps to encourage you to, as the team leader. When a teammate performs well, Hayes the first to step up. Next, the Warriors turn it over. Lakers on the fast break. You put your head down and sprint, racing toward the front court. You spot up in the corner. The Lakers PG wants to drive in, but the Warriors' transition defense is fast. The Warriors center is already blocking the PG's path. The PG instinctively passes the ball to you. Give it to whoever has the hot hand. That's basic point guard common sense. You pull up and shoot immediately. Clank. The shot hits the rim. A dull thud echoes. Luckily, it bounces off the glass, rattles on the rim 4 times, and finally drops in. 89,115. The Lakers are within 26. This time, scattered applause comes from the fans. 3 triples in less than a minute. Gave them a little surprise, but that's about it. In the Penguin NBA livestream, fans in the chat are starting a commotion. He hit 2 more. Where's that guy who wanted to eat dog shit? However, dog shit brother had already vanished. At Staples Center, the Warriors coach calls a timeout. Though this new Chinese player scored 9 quick points and it seems like a drop in the bucket. To be safe, he needs to briefly address the defense on this Chinese guy, calling the players over. He points to a player with an afro, their best perimeter defender. You, guard that Lakers number 1. Let him drive if you have to, but don't let him shoot the 3. Got it. The afro guy glances at the young man from the east with disdain. He nods. Don't worry, coach. With me guarding him, he'll be crying for his mama. As he crawls back to the east, on the Lakers side, the coach gives a simple instruction. Everyone set screens for Wong. Wong, if you have a look, take the 3. Be decisive with your shot. He is encouraging you. Your heart warms slightly. Since joining the NBA, this is the first time a coach ran a play for you. Though it's just a simple screen, it makes you feel excited. You nod firmly. A fiery light gleaming in your eyes, LeBron James walks over, takes your hand, and gives you a heavy high. Hey man, I like those 3s, but I'm expecting to see more. You nod, holding your head high, and say confidently, you will. Meanwhile, in the Penguin livestream, the commentators are doing a wrap-up. Let's look at the Lakers scoring. LeBron has 23 points, AD has 28 points, and Wang Yi has 9. At this point, the commentator pauses. Our player Wang Yi actually has 9 points. Another commentator noted he just made 2 or maybe 3 3-pointers. Let me check. That's right. It's 3 3-pointers. 3 for 3. That's a great percentage. 2 points. This is Wang Yi's career high since entering the NBA. Let's see if he has any more 3 south in him, but his wrist is injured. That last 3-pointer didn't look very smooth. Perhaps he won't shoot from deep again. The pressure of a 3-pointer is too much for the wrist. While they spoke, the game resumed. The Warriors scored 2 points on a pass. The lead widened to 28 points again. Turning back to the other end, the Lakers attacked once more. The Warriors' Afro player stuck to Wang Yi like glue. He was assigned to guard the Oriental guy personally. He had to lock down this Oriental player. He was muttering under his breath. Non-stop trash talking. Hey, Oriental guy. With that fragile little frame, can you even launch another 3? Give it up. Don't worry. It'll be stuck on you like a piece of gum. It'll have you crying like a little girl. You ignored the Afro guy's trash talk. After all, you always prefer to let your game speak. Following the coach's tactical play, you curled around a screen and received the ball at the top of the arc. The Afro player was already chasing behind. You only had a split second to shoot, but you didn't hesitate for a moment. A sudden stop, a jump, arm raised, wrist flicked, one fluid motion. The entire sequence was smooth as silk, just like Dove chocolate. The ball soared over the Afro player, just past his lunging fingertips. Under the spotlight, it traced an orange arc, swishing through the center of the rim, nothing but net. You pulled back your right hand and glanced at the Afro guy. A mysterious smile appeared on your lips. That was another incredibly smooth shot. In that moment, you finally realized that tonight's hot hand was likely thanks to the system's Super God 3-pointer ability. The moment it left your hand, you knew it was in. Is this how a 3-point master feels? You couldn't help but glance at Curry on the Warriors bench. Curry was also looking toward the court. The Afro guy was still following you, still jabbering away. Am your opponent? Don't get it twisted. And going to lock you down until you doubt your life? Until you crawl back to your country crying. Without even turning your head, you gave a rare retort, "I'll shoot," until you shut up. Your words only made things worse. The Afro player got even more fired up. He chased you, spewing non-stop trash talk. But you didn't say another word, treating it all like the barking of a dog. Wang Yi, that's your 4th 3-pointer. The lead has been cut to 25 points, from 35 points down to 25. It felt like it happened in an instant. The Lakers players on the sidelines were all on their feet. Even if they lost tonight, for 3-pointers in just a minute and a half was enough to shock everyone. On the next possession, the Warriors missed their shot. When the Lakers attacked, you called for the ball as soon as you crossed half court. Your performance had already won over the Lakers' point guard. The ball naturally found its way into your hands. The Afro player was already hounding you. Using a teammate's screen, you took one dribble. The Afro guy was momentarily blocked, creating a tiny bit of space. You were still 2 meters behind the 3-point line. If you kept dribbling, the Afro player would catch up immediately. So, without a second thought, you pulled up and rose for the shot, a flick of the wrist swish. Another 3-pointer hit the mark. The deficit was down to 22 points. In an instant, a third of the crowd stood up and cheered, though less than 3 minutes remained, and the lead was still over 20 points, making a comeback nearly impossible. This Oriental man's 5 consecutive 3 south reignited their passion. This Asian guy is so strong. Hayes, the Lakers, Steph Curry. How have I never seen him before? What's his name? Hayes on a 10-day contract with the Lakers, but I don't know his name either. After this shot went in, you felt a massive surge of adrenaline. Your confidence swelled rapidly. At this moment, the hoop looked as wide as the ocean. No matter how you threw the ball, it would dive right into the basket. On the Warriors bench, Curry's eyes were flickering. As a legendary three-point shooter and the pioneer of the small ball era, seeing someone else hit 5 straight 3 south set his fighting spirit ablaze. He wanted to compete against this man on the court. However, when he looked at the head coach, the coach subtly shook his head. They had this game won. There was no need to put Curry back in. On the next play, the Warriors missed another three-pointer. It was the Lakers' turn to attack. After crossing half court, you called for the ball again? The Afro player had learned his lesson. Before you even caught the ball, he was waiting 2 meters behind the arc. He wasn't going to give you any room to shoot. You dribbled and glanced at your right hand. Seeing your apparent hesitation, the Afro guy got cocky. He clapped his hands loudly, exaggeratedly taunting you. Come on, I dare you to make another one. I bet 100 cents. You're missing this shot. This kind of trash talk is a psychological tactic used against shooters, especially for deep three-pointers. It's a scoring method that tests one's mental fortitude. If your mind wavers even a little, your shooting form will falter. Once your form is broken, it's naturally impossible to make the shot. Hearing this, your competitive spirit was ignited. You continued to dribble, but you didn't move forward. Instead, you took 3 steps back while dribbling. Your feet were right on the half-court logo. The Afro guy saw this, flashed a wide grin, and laughed. From the logo. You think you're Stephen Curry? Ha ha ha, Oriental guy. I think you're still dreaming. Even the white commentator on the scene was stunned. My God, what is this Oriental player doing? The other commentator joked, is he going for a logo 3? Can a Chinese player even hit a logo 3? He made 5 in a row. And now Hayes cocky enough to think Hayes Curry? There was a hint of mockery in their voices. But before they could finish speaking, you had already launched the ball. From the mid-court position, you had to use much more power, but the release felt perfect. You knew this shot was going in. Right after the release, while the ball was still in the air, you had already turned around. With your back to the basket, you raised your right hand high, holding up 3 fingers. In a three-pointer gesture, the ball traced a long arc through the air. A second after you made the gesture, like a cannonball, it slammed heavily into the hoop bang. The logo 3 was complete. This three-pointer wasn't a clean swish. It was powerful and heavy. Like a projectile screaming across the court, the ball thundered into the rim, shaking the entire arena. The whole stadium instantly exploded. My God, what did I just see? He actually turned around and celebrated early. That was so cool. The noise level in the arena skyrocketed. A logo 3 is visually stunning enough, but to celebrate before it even goes in is a level of showmanship that even Curry has rarely pulled off. It wasn't just the fans. Even the 2 commentators who were just joking couldn't help but scream. Oh my God, what am I seeing? A logo 3. Unbelievable. He actually did it. He is the Lakers, Stephen Curry. Many NBA commentators are like this. They go where the wind blows. They were just mocking you, and now they're singing your praises. Without missing a beat or blushing, on the big screen, the camera lingered on you for a long time, before finally cutting to Curry on the sidelines. Warriors coach Steve Kerr shook his head helplessly. He glanced at Curry. So this is how it feels. When the other team has a Curry of their own, Curry didn't move, but an intense fire had lit up in his eyes. At the same time, the Lakers bench all jumped to their feet. The reserves were vigorously waving towels. The starters were also leaping and high-fiving because of that sensational shot. Anthony Davis stood up in shock, his thick brows shooting up. His wide eyes were full of disbelief. LeBron James stood up quickly, holding up 3 fingers high in the air. With an exaggerated expression, he kept repeating, "Oh my God." Across the ocean, in the 10-cent NBA livestream, the 2 commentators' eyes were shining with excitement. 6 three-pointers in 4 minutes, including a logo 3. My goodness. Unbelievable. Simply insane. Sure Bob points. Our player Wang Yi scored 18 points in 2 minutes. This is beyond imagination. Because it was garbage time, most of the audience in the stream had already left. The remaining viewers were spamming comments. Incredible. 666. Is Wang Yi finally rising up? After hitting the logo 3, he celebrated early without even looking at the hoop. That was truly legendary. I wish I had such a handsome boyfriend. Of course there are hater comments too. Hey, played in the NBA for 2 years and didn't even score 100 points total. He just got lucky this game. Making a few threes isn't a big deal. Just get lost and go back home. Stop embarrassing us. Make a few more if you're so good. You need to stay humble. Turning to celebrate after a 3? So arrogant. No respect. If he can make 8 threes, he'll eat crap on a live stream. After hitting that logo shot, your confidence has hit its peak. The lead is down to 19 points. This is the feeling you wanted. Your body trembles with excitement. Your blood is boiling. Turning to celebrate right after the release, many players have done this before. LeBron has done it. Curry has done it too. But a logo 3 with an instant turn, you're the first. You usually keep a low profile. But basketball is a flashy sport. On the court, you should give it your all. Show off your personality. If you aren't flashy on the court, then why even play? Humble in life, dominant on the court, that guy with the afro just watched as the ball slammed home. It bounced on the hardwood. His eyes were wide, like he'd just seen a ghost. He was speechless for a long time. You shot him a glance and said calmly, "Hey, bro, don't forget my $100. The afro guy finally snapped out of it. He cursed, "Shit, Asian kid. You pissed me off." But you had already turned away. Heading back to the backcourt, next possession. The Warriors' offense was stopped. The Lakers' PG brings it up. He passes it straight to you. Then he sets a screen for you. Planning to get you an open three? You're feeling the heat now. You wave him off. No need. The PG clears out. He could only shrug. Space was created. Facing that afro guy again, you wanted to beckon him over, but that's a taunting gesture. It would be a technical foul. You aren't afraid of the tech, but a tech costs $25,000. For someone on a 10-day contract, that's a fortune. So you suppressed the urge to taunt. In broken English, you said, "Come on, bro." The afro guy was fuming. He strode up to you. His stance was wide, ready for a lockdown defense. A mysterious smile curved your lips. You suddenly stepped right. He scrambled to follow, but you had already pulled back and leaped for the shot. He knew had been fooled. Damn, he thought. He lunged to block. There was only a split-second window, but you still released the three? The entire Lakers bench stood up. Every spectator's eyes were on the ball. Swish. Nothing but net. The afro guy lunged too hard, knocking you to the floor. The shot is in. Whistle blows. Defensive foul on the afro guy. The arena exploded once again. A miracle three-pointer. My God. In just 2.5 minutes. 21 points. This scoring is insane. This Asian guy is too strong. How is he only on a 10-day contract? Lakers, hurry up. Give him a guaranteed contract, or you'll regret losing him to another team. Meanwhile, the commentators were screaming. One of the wildest shows I've seen. Simply miraculous. Compared to these two announcers, fans across the ocean in China had a much broader vocabulary. Their emotions were much deeper. Holy crap. What the damn? Back on the court, you looked at the afro guy, feeling incredibly satisfied. His face was grim with frustration. No more trash talk. He didn't say a word. The guy he was guarding dropped a dozen points on him. Especially that last shot. He called him out to defend him, then pulled up right over his head. Plus that logo 3. It was low physical damage, but a massive insult. He didn't have the nerve to talk anymore. Funny how he just said, "He'd make you cry back home." Look at him now. Not only are you not crying, Hayes, the one close to tears. After you sank the free throw, on the scoreboard, only down by 15 now. The gap shrank in a flash. 15 points down with 2.5 minutes left. A comeback is nearly impossible. But with your insane performance, who can say for sure? If you hit 2 more threes, it's a single-digit game. The Warriors coach calls a timeout. Hayes visibly frustrated. He shouts to his players, "Double him. Give me a double." The Warriors players were stunned. They thought they'd misheard. Double team him as soon as he gets the ball. Make him pass it. Don't let him shoot another 3. The players looked at each other. Against a 10-day contract guy, a nobody whose name they didn't know. Hayes calling for a double. That's quite the compliment. But no one dared question the coach. Back on the court, the Warriors did as they were told. They sent a double team at you. The announcers laughed. My God. Are you seeing this? The other announcer laughed too. The Warriors are double teaming him. This is truly an honor. The crowd was loving it too, but you weren't smiling? Despite the system's help, your wrist was already injured. It hurt whenever you dribbled. Facing a double, you had to pass the ball quickly, hoping open teammates would score. Sadly, their 2 threes missed. Even so, you kept moving through screens. In the final 2.5 minutes, you found 2 more openings and sank 2 more threes. Every time you hit one, the arena erupted like a volcano. Finally, the buzzer sounded. The score was 111,118. Lakers lost by just 7 points, but the fans weren't disappointed. They didn't know your name, so they chanted your number. No, 1. Despite the loss, they seemed happier than a win. LeBron came over immediately. He gave you a huge hug. He whispered, "Bro, you actually did it. 28 points in 5 minutes. Thanks for that legendary show." AD walked over to give you a high. The Lakers lost the game, but it felt like a victory. On the Warriors side, despite the win, everyone looked solemn, even a bit depressed, especially the head coach. He was drenched in cold sweat. Up 30 with 5 minutes left, it should have been a blowout. Instead, they almost lost it. If they'd blown that lead, he'd be shamed in history forever. He'd never live it down, as per tradition. After the game, players from both sides shook hands. Warriors star Stephen Curry hugged LeBron and AD first. They exchanged a few words. Then Curry walked toward you. Fire burned in his eyes. "Hey, nice three-pointers." You replied immediately. "Yours aren't bad either." On Curry's face appeared his iconic baby-faced smile. Even with the beard, his smile was still adorable. "Truly the baby-faced assassin," Curry added. "Hope we can battle it out properly." You nodded firmly. Determination burning in your eyes. If given the chance, who wouldn't want to challenge the best? Just then, a Lakers bench player walked over. He told you, the GM wants to see you. Your heart skipped a beat. Your 10-day contract was up. If the Lakers didn't want you, they would have just called your agent. Only if they planned to resign you. Would the GM see you in person? To give you the word, LeBron, standing nearby, was happy for you too? He smiled. Wong, I told you tonight might be your break. You said, thank you. Then, you headed straight to Pelinka's office. Pelinka is a very quiet, middle-aged man. He often stands at the back of the stands, watching the team without a word. No one knows what is on his mind. Right now, Hayes sitting behind his desk. Seeing you walk in, he speaks. Wong, your performance tonight surprised everyone. You know, Schroeder hasn't returned from injury. Our backcourt still lacks a scoring threat. Would you like to sign another 10-day contract? Pelinka is very articulate. He didn't say, we've decided to sign you. Instead, he asked if you'd like to sign with them. Though the meaning is similar, the former puts the team in a higher position, while the latter shows more respect to the player. You already expected that your performance on the court would impress the Lakers management, but hearing it from the GM himself, you still feel a surge of joy. Thank you, GM. I see no reason to refuse. Signing another 10-day contract is already good enough for you. As for a guaranteed contract, the Lakers definitely won't give you one yet. After all, in about a week, starting point guard Schroeder will return. The Lakers' backcourt will be crowded then. Naturally, a guaranteed deal is out of the question. Unless during this second 10-day stint, you can deliver another stellar performance. Thinking of this, you recall the system that appeared in your mind earlier. You secretly clench your fist. Pelinka continues. This second contract is for $20,000. I hope this is satisfactory. You nod immediately. Thank you. I'm very satisfied. 10-day contracts vary by performance, ranging from thousands to tens of thousands. Your last contract was only $8,000. This jump to $20,000 will make your life less financially tight. Leaving the GMS office, Caruso is already waiting for you. You are currently staying at his place, so after every home game, he waits for you. Wong, how was it? Is it a guaranteed contract? You shake your head. A short contract. Caruso pats your shoulder. It's okay. Keep playing like you did tonight, and I'm sure it will become guaranteed. You nod, saying nothing more. Back at Caruso's place, after a simple dinner, you lie down on your bed in the garage. That cold electronic voice rings out again. Legendary Superstar System, training active. Mission issued. Make E10 3-pointers. Reward, fixed 3 PT percentage increased to 45 fun to RAM. You stay awake all night. Your mind is filled with that one sentence. Fixed 3 PT percentage increased to 45 fun Taram. This reward is insane. A 45 fun TRM shooting rate is elite for a 3-point shooter. Even a great like Stephen Curry has a career average under 45 fun Taram in all of NBA history. Only Steve Kerr has a career average over 45 fun Taram. You never imagined the first mission reward would be this crazy. What do the Lakers need most right now? A reliable 3-point shooter, of course. Pope, Kuzma, Schroeder. They can all shoot from deep, but their percentages are quite poor. In the small ball era, without consistent outside shooting, the game becomes a struggle. Imagine, if you could raise your average to 45 fun Taram, how terrifying that would be. Before dawn, you were already impatient to head to the Lakers facility. The drowsy security guard recognizes you. As the new 10-day contract player, he lets you in. Looking at the dark night sky, he mutters to himself, are people from the east all this in the arena? You turn on the lights and shooting machine. You immediately start the mission. The sound of swishing nets echoes. Eventually, LeBron James arrives at the gym. He looks surprised to see you. After a greeting, you ask LeBron to tell the coach that you want to focus on 3-pointers today. As the team needs a steady shooter, LeBron thinks for a moment and agrees. Altering the coach's plan is something you can't do yet. Only a superstar like LeBron, with absolute authority, can pull that off. LeBron rarely abuses his power, but for you today, he makes an exception. At 10 a.m., the other players arrive. They've basically just woken up. Seeing you and LeBron drenched in sweat, they are already used to it. Everyone follows the coach's plan. While you practice in the corner, today's practice ends. Players begin to leave, but you are only 11 shots away from the goal. LeBron stays too, continuing his extra drills. Watching your frenzied shooting, he realizes you've been at it all day. Without even eating lunch, LeBron is stunned, standing there watching you. With your energy nearly gone, those last 11 shots take nearly 60 attempts. Finally, as the last one goes in, the cold voice rings out again. Mission complete. Reward. Fixed 3 PT percentage increased to 45 fun TRM. You let out a long sigh and collapse onto the floor. LeBron and the waiting Caruso stay quiet, not saying a word. After panting for 2 minutes, you smile at them. Believe me, tomorrow against the Clippers, you can count on me. LeBron and Caruso exchange looks, recalling your 20 fun Taram rate in practice. They don't know where your confidence comes from. The next night, 8 p.m., the game against the Clippers is starting. Both teams are warming up. On the Clippers side, their guard, Patrick Beverley, volunteers to his coach. Coach Ilgard LeBron. Tyronn Lue nods immediately. Brown is yours. Beverly's eyes light up instantly, like a hound seeing its prey. Though small, Beverly has endless fighting spirit. Once on the court, Hayes like a hunting dog, harassing the opponent's star, even the Reaper himself. Kevin Durant was once shut down by him. They traded blows and were both ejected, so Beverly is usually assigned to the star player. Of course, the Clippers' other defensive ace is Kawhi Leonard with his claw defense, but as the core player, Leonard must conserve energy. Under normal circumstances, Tyronn Lue won't have him guard the main threat. Besides, in Lue's eyes, LeBron is getting old. There's no need for Leonard's defense yet. The game tips off. You are still at the end of the bench. Watching the action on the court, you also keep an eye on Coach Vogel, fearing you'll miss the signal to play. Both teams are evenly matched. It's going to be a tight game. In this situation, the coach is unlikely to risk playing you. But as a professional, you must be ready at all times. The game begins. Back and forth, the Lakers have an interior advantage. They attack the paint. The Clippers are strong from deep. They play to their strengths, firing three-pointers. Meanwhile, on the Penguin NBA broadcast, the guest is the famous Sue Khan. The host is Wang Meng, joined by the popular Mena. Mena is a huge LeBron fan. She hosts almost every Lakers game. Host Wang Meng asks, in the last game, our player Wang Yi, in the final 5 minutes, hit 9 three-pointers, scoring 28 points. It was absolutely explosive. Mr. Sue, do you think he'll play tonight? Sue Khan looks through the stats, smiling as he speaks. His last game was indeed stunning. The Lakers signed him to a 10-day deal, clearly valuing his shooting. However, with the team so close and the game likely to be a grind, his chances of playing are slim, Wang Meng adds. Mr. Sue makes a good point, but we're still looking forward to seeing another explosive performance. The live stream comments are already flooded with fans. I hope Wang Yi gets to play. I haven't watched the NBA since Yao retired. Yesterday's 28 points in 5 minutes really shocked me. Of course, the haters outnumber the fans. It was just one game. Nothing more than a fluke. Haven't won, can't win. Even if you drop 100 points, you're just a stat pattern. Last game was just luck. No defense in garbage time. If someone guards him today, let's see if Hayes is still great. Don't worry. He might not even play today. Being there, you didn't know, and even if you knew, you wouldn't care. Over these past 2 years, the insults from domestic trolls have been plenty, so your mind is already hardened. Immune to the trash talk, Beverly is hounding LeBron, constantly talking trash. With aggressive movements, LeBron is older now. He plays to conserve energy. He rarely attacks early on, mostly facilitating at the arc. Luckily, Lakers' threes held up, 5 of 11 from deep in the half. By halftime, they trailed by only 2, but in the third quarter, the momentum shifted suddenly. LeBron planned to drive in, looking for the driven kick, but the Lakers' threes went cold yet again, 3 straight misses from deep. Meanwhile, the Clippers hit 4 straight threes. The lead jumped to 14 points. Coach Vogel called a timeout, emphasizing perimeter defense, but defense alone won't work. The Lakers need to score. Coming out of the timeout, the Clippers hit 2 more. As for the Lakers, missing their shots, the Clippers used a zone. LeBron couldn't get in, forcing shots from outside, but that's usually how it goes. The more you rush, the worse it gets. With 6 minutes left in the third, the Lakers trailed by 20. Though Vogel is resourceful, he was out of options. The whole world knows. Threes are the way to beat a zone, but if you can't hit them, then you're in trouble. The Lakers' mood turned grim. Caruso recalled what you said. You can definitely trust me. Thinking of this, he whispered to LeBron. LeBron's eyes lit up. He looked across the ocean. Down by 20 points, the 10-cent NBA commentators started offering advice. Wang Meng asked Sue Kun, Lakers are down by 20. Look, Mena is about to cry. To make the game more exciting and save Mena from tears. From those 2 points, can you give them some advice? Hearing Wang Meng's joke, Sue Khan replied with a laugh. The Lakers' issue is the shooting. Everyone knows to shoot threes. The Lakers know it too. Everyone saw it. In these last few minutes, Caruso took 2, Kuzma 1, Tucker 1, AD 1, and LeBron shot 1. They are 1 for 6 combined. With that kind of shooting, any team would be blown out. Lakers' defense is keeping them in. That's why they're only down 20. They must fix their shooting. In today's small ball era, if you can't hit threes, it's hard to play anyone. Wang Meng nodded. You're right. If Coach Vogel were bolder and played our player Wang Yi, would it be better? Sue Kun, that's up to Vogel. I hope he won't do like before, playing Wang Yi only in garbage time. You saw his performance last game. Why not try before it's over? Give it a shot. Fans in the chat said, play Yi. Put him in the game now. But the trolls said, if the starters can't fix it, how can a bench warmer fix it? You guys are too naive. Told him to come home long ago. Don't embarrass us. Hayes just a bench warmer now. Meanwhile, at the arena, the Lakers called a timeout. LeBron walked up to Vogel. He said, Coach. Before he could finish, Vogel nodded. Let's let him try. Vogel, is actually a very bold coach. He was already thinking of you. Seeing LeBron talking to you, he didn't mention it himself. Waiting for LeBron to ask. LeBron is the team leader. This builds respect for him. It helps LeBron unite the team. And Vogel knows that this way, LeBron will appreciate him. Managing a superstar like LeBron, their cooperation, is vital for the team. It's key to winning. Clearly, Vogel's EQ is quite high. He beckoned over. He called out Wong. You were already prepared. Going on court now, you sprang up like a coil. Jogging over, you reached the coach. Vogel, LeBron wants you in. Don't let us down. Your heart began to race. Got it. You nodded firmly. At the same time, the system chimed. Check-in successful. New item. Clamps. Trial card. You were ecstatic. With 45 fun Tarum from deep and the clamps card? Does that mean, in this game, he'll be a top 3D player? Exactly what the Lakers need. Thinking of this, you spoke up, coach. Once I'm in, let me guard Leonard. Kawhi's drives just now. Force the defense to collapse, opening up their threes. If we can stop his drives, their threes will dry up. Coach Vogel was surprised. As far as he knew, your talent is average, and your lateral speed is slow. Your defense isn't great. Now you're volunteering to guard the claw Leonard? Your eyes were firm. You said, Coach, give me 2 possessions. If I can't stop him, switch me out. What you implied was, everyone has tried Kawhi, and no one can stop him. In that case, might as well let me try. But to save the team's ego, you couldn't say that aloud. Let the coach figure it out. Vogel thought for a moment. Understanding your point, he nodded. Okay, it'll give you 3 possessions. You nodded firmly, clenching your fists. You looked over at Kawhi, like a wolf eyeing its prey. Back from the timeout, you stepped onto the court. The announcer noted. The player from last game, who hit 9 threes in 5 minutes, is back on the court. Let's see if Hayes still magic. It's home at Staples today, and the fans are cheering, though not many are cheering. They're down by a lot, and besides, Hayes just a 10-day guy. Most don't even know him. The trolls in the chat saw you. They started popping off. Hayes actually playing. Back to embarrass himself. The Lakers bring it up. LeBron has it at the top. The Clippers stay in their zone. LeBron scans the floor. Then his eyes lock on you. He gives a shout and dishes it to you. You catch and don't hesitate. You rise for the jumper. Flicking your left wrist, the ball arcs through the air. Like a perfect rainbow, nothing but net. The crisp snap of the net echoes through the speakers. The Lakers DJ bellows 3 from Wang Yi, hearing your name drawn out. You close your eyes slightly, soaking in the moment. LeBron comes for a high. Enjoy this, brother. Caruso walks over to. You weren't kidding yesterday? Ty Lue saw the 3. But he wasn't worried. It's just 1 3. The Clippers didn't care either. They've scouted the Lakers, knowing your last game, 9 threes in 5 minutes. But a god-tier performance is usually a once-in-alpha time fluke, like T-Max 13 in 35 seconds. The Clippers knew you couldn't possibly be that godlike 2 games in a row. So head coach Tyronn Lue made no adjustments. It was the Clippers' turn to attack. You were matched directly against Leonard, their core player. With your talent, trying to shut down the lang-limbed Leonard was simply impossible. So you immediately used the clamps trial card. In the next moment, you felt your foot speed increase slightly, and your lateral quickness improved as well. Meanwhile, Mad Dog Beverly brought the ball across half court and handed it off to Leonard. You quickly got into position, legs spread wide, defending right in front of Leonard. The commentators were surprised by the sight. What? This Asian guy is going to primary Leonard? Am I seeing this right? Hayes half a head shorter than Leonard, and way lighter than Leonard. Putting him on Leonard, Hayes probably going to get shredded. I don't know what Vogel is thinking. In the 10-cent NBA livestream room, the trolls in the chat saw this and immediately became active. Man, this is just asking for a beat. He wants to guard the claw. No way, right? Got lucky with a 3, and now Hayes cocky? He actually thinks he can stop Leonard. With Wang Yi's height, Leonard can completely ignore him. He can either pull up or use his body to power through. He'll probably just run right over him. On the court, Leonard didn't choose to pull up. Pulling up isn't his favorite way to score. His favorite way to score is the mid-range pull-up after a drive. At this moment, he quickly put the ball down with his right hand, intending to drive from the right side, based on the direction of his shoulder shimmy. You had already predicted this. Your feet moved laterally quickly, blocking his path to the basket. Seeing the drive was blocked, Leonard immediately used his left foot as a pivot, spinning with the momentum, intending to break through from the left. However, right after he turned and pulled the ball, the moment the ball hit the floor, a hand quietly reached out, intercepting the ball. In midair, Leonard's dribble hit empty air. You came up with a steal right there. At the same time, a figure was already sprinting to the front court. You looked up and saw, it was LeBron James. You whipped the ball to the front court with your left hand. James caught the ball, took 1 dribble, took 3 steps and took off. With a thunderous bang, a signature powerful tomahawk jam instantly ignited the arena. The cameras cut to James, showing his tomahawk dunk, replaying it over and over again, but few people noticed before that dunk. your steal, and your assist. However, James wouldn't forget. He came back to the backcourt to high-five you, excitedly calling out, "Brother, great job." Leonard of the Clippers also looked back at you, although it seemed like just a casual glance, and he wasn't truly angry yet. As a superstar, they all have a competitive fire. "You stole it from me once. I'm going to get it back on your head." Beverly naturally knew this too. After bringing the ball past half-court, he wanted to give the ball to Leonard. How could you not know that? So you used fronting defense. Not giving Leonard a single chance to catch the ball, Beverly couldn't get the pass to Leonard, so he had to pass it to PG on the other side. PG faced AD's defense, and his forced shot missed. Turning back, it was the Lakers' turn to attack. The Clippers were still using a zone defense. You moved off the ball very aggressively. Standing outside the three-point line in the left corner, playing with LeBron James, many things become very simple. For a three-point shooter, you just need to stand outside the arc, and the ball will naturally find its way to you. Sure enough, James feigned a drive, collapsing the defense, then he kicked the ball out to you. By this time, PG was already lunging at you. As a professional poster boy, with 20 years of focus on being the background, he had years of experience being game winnered by James, game winnered by game winnered by Wade, and twice game winnered by Butler. People who've hit winners over him could circle the earth, 5 times of course. This was also because his defense was so excellent. He was usually the one man marking the final possession, but facing the lunging you took the shot without a moment's hesitation. It felt perfect. With a swish, the three-pointer went in. Nothing but net again. It was a 20-point deficit just now. In less than a minute, you chased back 8 points. Now, only down by 12. The arena instantly erupted in cheers. In the Tencent NBA livestream room, Wang Mang said in surprise, 2 threes in 1 minute. Is Wang Yi going to repeat his miracle from last game? Su Khan analyzed quite rationally. A miracle like that once in a lifetime is lucky enough. It's almost impossible for it to happen a second time. But if Wang Yi's three-point percentage can stay at a relatively high level, it would be a godsend for the Lakers. During the timeout, the Clippers coach pointed at me and said to Mad Dog Beverly, "Mad Dog, go out there and lock him down." In American culture, dog is not a derogatory term. It represents loyalty, and the nickname Mad Dog isn't an insult either. It refers to Beverly's near-insane fighting spirit. While being extremely loyal to the team, regarding the game, he was always hungry. So, for this nickname, Beverly also felt quite proud. "Don't worry, coach. I'll shut him down." Returning from the timeout, the game continued. On Leonard's possession, you continued your clamps defense on him. This time, their coach had made an adjustment. Leonard finally got the ball off a screen, but just as he received it, a ghostly hand had already swiped the ball. Slap. The ball hit the floor. Leonard quickly dove for it, but you had already lunged out in a dive. Seeing a D already sprinting to the front court, you flicked the ball with your left hand. The basketball went toward the chasing AD. Another monster dunk. The arena erupted in cheers once again. The commentators also shouted in shock. Ad's dunk was amazing. I love that dunk. But we can't ignore Wang's defense anymore. Hayes stopped Leonard for 3 straight possessions. Stopping Leonard 3 times in a row is definitely rare in this league. Clearly, we all underestimated Wang's defense. The threes are great, and the defense is great too. A typical 3D player. That's exactly what the Lakers need right now. With James and AD, the Lakers role players, jobs become very simple. Defense and threes, and Wang Yi has exactly both. Hayes a perfect match with the Lakers' 2 stars. The Lakers should consider giving him a guaranteed contract. Hearing the commentators on the court, a meaningful smile appeared on your lips. 3D player, your ambition went far beyond that. Now the lead was cut to 10 points. Lakers on the attack. After James brought the ball up, he feigned a drive once more, compressing the defense while looking for you, but the Clippers were prepared this time. They used a Foreman zone to guard the paint. Leaving Beverly to shadow you specifically, Beverly stuck to you like glue. While spewing trash talk, "Hey Asian guy, you just hit a 3. You think you're hot stuff? That's only because I wasn't guarding you. Try it now if you've got the guts." "Oh, sorry. With me here, you won't even touch the ball." You knew what Beverly was capable of. He would constantly use physical contact, while talking trash non-stop, to get under your skin. Once you lose your cool, then he has won, so you wouldn't get angry. Nor would you let Beverly smother you like this. You took the initiative to wrap around a D's screen. As a high-quality 3D player, you can't just stand at the arc waiting. You have to learn to work the screens, only by getting open. Will the ball find you? Sure enough, you got open, and James' pass reached you instantly. Catching the ball at the 3-point line, Beverly quickly fought through a DS screen, lunging toward you. Of course, he couldn't block you from there, but as he lunged, he swung his right hand hard toward your face. Your heart tightened slightly, although you still got the shot off. Your focus wavered, and the ball clanked off the rim. As for Beverly, his hand stopped 2 inches from your face, and he pulled it back sharply. He didn't make any physical contact. You frowned. Beverly had always been a dirty player, so you subconsciously thought he was really going to hit you. Being hit in the face is one thing, but if he poked your eye or kicked you like green, that would be painful. It seemed your mind wasn't steady enough. But you live and learn. You can't trip over the same hurdle twice. Meanwhile, in the 10-cent NBA stream, commentators noted his magic touch was gone. True. However, this is a normal shooting percentage. Yeah, if every shot went in, that would be terrifying. Haters in the chat saw the miss and started acting up again, finally showing his true colors. His luck is running out. He only shot well before because they lacked defensive intensity. Look at him now with Beverly on him. Hayes folding under the pressure. His conditioning is pathetic. The Mad Dog just showed his fangs, and Hayes already going down. Just go home already. Hayes embarrassing all Chinese people. Meanwhile, back on the court. After missing that shot, you weren't discouraged at all? With a 45 Funtarum shooting rate, it's impossible to make every basket. Transitioning back, you face Leonard's offense again. Once more, Leonard uses a screen from Zoop to finally break free from your defense and sink a mid-range jumper. The lead is back to 12 points. As you inbound to LeBron, he asks, "Wang, do you still dare to shoot?" A confident smile crosses your face. "As long as you dare to pass." LeBron wonders where your confidence is from. You're clearly not as hot as last game, yet you remain so self. Is it because of yesterday's training? LeBron muses while dribbling up court. You've already rounded a D screen. Heading to the left for 5-degree arc. Your back is toward the basket, and Beverly is on you like a mad dog. He fights through the defense, pursuing you relentlessly. LeBron's pass is already on the way. You catch the ball and jump, while still facing away. Turning midair, you lean your upper body back. Right foot extended slightly. To maintain your balance, arms raised. You flick your wrist. This isn't a beautiful high arc, but a flat, direct line. The ball flies with incredible speed. Like a high-velocity shell, it slams into the basket. Meanwhile, Beverly is stunned. He thought that after catching, you'd at least turn before jumping. He didn't expect a blind jump, let alone a turnaround in midair. He had no time to block. A splash sounds from behind him. The arena DJ roars. A 3 by Wang Yi. Hearing that strange Eastern name, Beverly throws a punch in frustration. He mutters a curse under his breath. He continues hurl trash talk at you. You just got lucky. But next time, you won't be so lucky. You smile confidently, ignoring his trash talk entirely. Beverly is starting to get heated. Hayes guarded many superstars. Usually, a little trash talk and some physical provocation gets a reaction out of them. Their movements become erratic. That's better for the Clippers. But this guy is different. Hayes been chirping for so long, hurling insults nonstop. Yet the kid doesn't get angry. Instead, he just scoffs. It feels like a bratty kid, constantly testing an adult's patience, while the adult just smiles. Because to him, Hayes just a child after all, it must be said. Besides his fierce defense, Beverly has quite the imagination. On the other end, he dribbles up to find Leonard. Once more, the kid isn't smothering Leonard. Hayes giving him a step of space. Glancing toward Paul George, Beverly assumes you're playing the passing lane to Feeling relieved, he passes the ball to Leonard, but right then, you pounce like a leopard, intercepting the ball midair. Watching Paul George earlier was just a way to bait them. He thought you were distracted. But you were locked on Leonard? You sprint down court, dribbling left-handed. Behind you, a figure is hot on your heels. It's the Mad Dog, Beverly. Hayes right behind you, chasing you like a rabid dog. With your right hand injured, you're forced to use your left. Your speed is slightly down. Once past half court, Beverly catches up, reaching in to poke at your dribble. Hayes still chirping. You're not getting another point. You look over and see Caruso trailing. It's a perfect 2-0 opportunity. But under this physical pressure, a one-handed pass is too risky. You set your jaw in determination. In that case, no pass, it is. Reaching the arc, you suddenly pull up and jump. Beverly can't react in time. Hayes shaken off by 5 meters. You rise and fire. The motion is silky smooth. The ball spins off your fingers, sailing toward the hoop. Swish, nothing but net again. The lead is down to 6 points. Nearly 20,000 fans erupt in a deafening roar. Listening to the waves of noise, your heart races with excitement. You turn to look at Beverly. His brow is furrowed deep. He glares back at you. To him, you're a total enigma. Hayes played with Asians before. In his experience, they aren't fast, don't jump high, and play soft. He usually doesn't bother with them. But this guy today, those 3-point are like daggers to the heart. Clippers coach Ty Lue quickly calls another timeout. Only 2 minutes have passed since the last timeout, but the 12-point lead is now 6. This is a Lakers home game. If they let this slip, the Lakers' momentum will explode. Coming back would be nearly impossible. As the Clippers huddle up, Ty Lue points at you. He tells Leonard, "You're on him." Beverly is disappointed. His fighting spirit was just peaked. He wanted to take on number 1, but the coach has lost faith. But then again, under his watch, the kid hit 2 more threes and snatched 2 steals. In just 2 minutes, he was utterly outplayed. If you were the coach, make the switch to... Leonard looks over. Silent as always. He simply nods. Hayes, a man of few words. Standing at 67, he has a massive 73 wingspan. Combined with those huge hands, Hayes a complete nightmare. For any offensive player, if you dribble near him, those long arms will snatch it. They call it the claw defense. Many of the league's best have suffered against Leonard. Even LeBron James has been shut down by him. When a player gets hot, Leonard is the one who stops them. On the Lakers bench, coach Frank Vogel briefs the team. We hit some threes, but don't think we're in the clear. Only Wong has the hot hand. So, next, they'll stick to the zone defense and simultaneously keep a man glued to Wong. So Wong, you have to keep moving. You nod, he'll work the screens. Vogel nods again. Don't just use your teammates, run through their zone and weave through them. To lose your defender, your eyes light up, using the Clippers as screens. Vogel smiles. Exactly that way. Their defense will crumble. When they're in chaos, that's our opening. LeBron pats your shoulder. Man, if we're gonna flip this, it's on you. AD gives you a pat of encouragement. Take us to the win. Meanwhile, Tucker looks on from the bench. If you keep this up, you'll take his spot for good. But he knows the cold reality of sports. If you don't perform, no one has time for you. The timeout ends. Clippers possession. Leonard is still under the death grip, but the Clippers PG steps up now. He sinks it to the lead is back to 8 points. Lakers turn to attack. Clippers stay in a 4-man zone defense. While Leonard is shadowing you closely, denying you the ball, the commentator sharply notices this. Look, Leonard is actually guarding Wong, a 10-day contract player. Being primary guarded by Leonard, this is already an honor. I wonder, under Leonard's defense, if he can still hit those threes? Hard to say. Leonard is taller than Beverly, and stronger than Beverly. Trying to shoot a 3 over Leonard is going to be difficult. Across the ocean, on the Penguin NBA stream comments, the haters who just retreated are now active again. Beverly was just too short earlier. Now Leonard is the primary defender. This guy is likely done for. The death grip is no joke. If he hits 2 threes over Leonard, he'll eat SHT on the live stream. Poop guy who fled earlier has returned. Staples Center. The game continues. The robotic Leonard shadows you closely, giving you no chance to receive the ball, especially with his long arms and huge hands, waving right in front of you. It's like being guarded by a tree, making it impossible to catch the ball. This is the terror of the death grip. With a sudden turn, you bolt toward the paint. Leonard follows you. You run into the Clippers zone, maneuvering around their power forward. Then you sprint to the left corner, catching the ball behind the arc. Leonard is bigger than you. Navigating teammates isn't as easy for him, and they can't just clear a path for him, because if they do, their zone defense falls apart. Seeing you already at the line, Leonard shoves aside his teammate to chase you out, but you already have an opening. You take the pass from Caruso, lift your arms to shoot. Leonard is still 3 meters away. Seeing you about to release, he lunges with a high leap, pouncing toward you like a giant bird. I must say, his height, vertical, and wingspan is absolutely elite talent. Even from 3 meters away, that leap can completely smother you, giving you no room to shoot, but you aren't stupid. This was just a pump fake. You wait for the bird like Leonard to fly right over your head, then calmly release the shot. Swish. The 3 is good. The lead is down to only 5 points. The crowd erupts into a roar again. The Jumbotron focuses on the man who hit the 3. The arena DJ's booming voice echoes throughout the stadium again. 3 points by Wang Yi. Turning back around, Clippers are on the attack. You're still glued to Leonard. Leonard catches the ball. Seeing you still sticking to him, he bumps you to create space, intending to force a mid-range jumper, but you have the death grip boost. Your reactions are light and fast. After being bumped, you quickly step back up. Leonard has just raised the ball. Before he even leaves the floor, your left arm swings for a massive block, right in his face. A clean, hard block on Leonard. Caruso on the left is quick. To secure the ball, he pushes rapidly to the front court. You follow him fast, sprinting to the corner arc. PG has already caught up. Caruso can't drive directly. He spots the left corner and whips the ball over. You catch it and prepare to jump, but Beverly has tracked back so you use another pump fake. Beverly is completely fooled by you. He flies right past your front, but now Leonard has arrived too. Another pump fake. Leonard is also sent flying. However, if you shoot now, the recovering Beverly will strip you. You take a big step to the right, evading Beverly's reach. Jump. Flick the wrist. Swish. Another 3-pointer goes in. Lead is cut to only 2 points. The brilliance of this play is clear from the crowd's roar. Beautiful. So cool. He actually blocked him. He blocked Leonard, then faked out both Beverly and Leonard to hit a 3. Elite on both ends. This is the 3D player the Lakers need. Now I'm starting to wonder, between Leonard and Wong, who really has the death grip? On the Jumbotron, they're replaying your highlights. From defense to offense, the announcer keeps shouting, Wong, Hayes, the Lakers' biggest steal this year? Wang's two-way play is truly a joy to watch. I don't understand how such a player was overlooked. The other announcer spoke the truth, because he is Asian. He couldn't get certain coaches to trust him. Of course, on this matter, the two didn't say much more. Just a passing comment. Meanwhile, on Penguin NBA Live, The commentators are also delighted. Wang Meng says, Wang Yi's threes today aren't as explosive as the last game, but the 2-way impact Hayes shown really proves his value. Sukan nods. Exactly. If I recall correctly, since he started guarding Leonard hasn't scored a point. Look at his defense. Hayes glued to him constantly, never letting him catch the ball. Hayes not as tall as Leonard, nor does he have the wingspan. But this intensity is definitely a death grip. Fans in the comments are also piping up. Didn't someone say Leonard would crush him? Where are they now? Yeah, where did all the haters go? Come out and say something. Poop guy, are you still watching? After this game today, you're going to be stuffed. However, the haters have gone silent. That's how haters are. When you perform well, they pull their heads back into their shells. Staples Center, you're guarding Leonard again? This time with his teammates' help. Leonard finally finishes an alley-oop. Lead extends to 4 points. Your vertical is average, and you're 10 centimeters shorter than Leonard. There was no stopping that one. Back on the other end, Lakers attack. You run into the Clippers' paint again, weaving through 4 defenders. Leonard is great on the ball carrier, but he rarely defends players like you, who constantly move off ball. You've completely scrambled their interior. Then you bolt back out to the perimeter. Leonard, having learned his lesson, chases you with full effort this time, but you loop around James. James hands the ball off to you. You catch it at the arc and fire. Leonard, squeezing past James, stumbles and bumps into your side, but with your surging confidence, your release is lightning fast. Without a full shooting motion, the ball is already away. Simultaneously, the whistle blows, and your shot finds the net. Ref signals a foul on Leonard. The 3 counts, and you get an extra free throw. The free throw is good. The score is now 8,686. Lakers have leveled the score. From 20 down to a tie in just half a quarter, this comeback speed is terrifying. Everyone can see. This all stems from your death grip. You shut down the Clippers star, and your steals and multiple threes opened things up for the Lakers. The noise level has reached its peak. Nearly 20,000 fans are cheering. Lakers' momentum has reached its zenith. You look at Leonard. He looks the same as always. Expressionless. Like a robot with no feelings. Clippers coach Tyronn Lue, seeing a 20-point lead vanish, is starting to panic, but he doesn't call a timeout. In the last 5 minutes, Hayes already used to. If he uses more now, there'll be none left for the clutch. So he shouts from the sideline to his stars. The two look toward the coach. Tyronn Lue says nothing. He just gazes at them affectionately. They understand exactly what he means. Figure it out yourselves. This is Lue's classic coaching style. When he coached LeBron in Cleveland, LeBron was the answer to every problem. Everything was left to James. Once in the fourth, when James was spent, nearly collapsing from exhaustion, he called 2 timeouts in a row. Not to set up tactics, but just to give James a breather. Only he could pull off such a move. So, facing your sudden defense and threes, he was also a bit hesitant, only able to ask the team's 2 stars. But while those 2 can play solo, they lack solutions in a crisis. Left with no choice, he turned to Rondo once more. Rondo has been in the league for years. Hayes, a seasoned veteran, highly experienced, and with a high basketball IQ, the play where he directed Cousins' defense proved his high basketball IQ. They say Rondo is a coach on the court, without a doubt. Taking advantage of a dead ball, he said to Rondo, "Can we win this game today? It's all on you." Naturally, Rondo felt obligated. Without saying much, he nodded and walked onto the court. In the next few minutes, with Rondo orchestrating, the Clippers' offense opened up. On the Lakers side, since your threes broke their zone, the lead kept changing hands. At the end of the third quarter, only 2 points separated the teams. During the intermission, almost all Lakers players you felt a surge of excitement. Drifting through the NBA for 2 years, when had you ever seen such a scene, let alone high-fiving you? Some wouldn't even look you in the eye. Yet now, after just 2 games, almost every player on the team came to high-five you. How could you not be moved? You looked at the Clippers bench, eyes fixed on Leonard. You looked forward to the day. Death grip isn't a system buff, but your own inherent skill. The fourth quarter soon began. The Lakers rested James, and you didn't play either. You only played 8 minutes just now, but it took a huge toll on your stamina. On defense, you had to use death grip on Kawhi. On offense, you had to keep moving, using screens and shooting threes. Even a man of iron couldn't withstand such exhaustion, so the coach didn't sub you in yet. Coach Vogel had his own reasons. It seemed over these 2 games, you had already proven yourself. As a quality 3-and-D player, such players fit best with James, so he planned to wait for James before putting you back in. Without James, and the bench held the fort, but the Clippers had Rando's guidance. Their offense was smooth. Lakers subs were still clanking shots. With 8 minutes left in the fourth, the Clippers led by 9 points. Then, a fatal moment occurred. After a block, a D suddenly clutched his hip and limped. Everyone's heart skipped a beat. The whole arena went silent. Trainers rushed to help AD's left leg. A moment later, he was helped to the locker room. Word soon came from the back. AD would not return tonight. James' expression grew solemn. He walked up to Vogel, with determination in his voice. "Coach, I'm going in. By normal rotation, he should be resting now. But he couldn't rest anymore. Though just a regular season game, these two teams are crosstown rivals, and the Clippers are the Lakers' biggest playoff threat, so he had to win this game. AD was injured. James requested to play. Coach Vogel weighed his options, and finally nodded. Then he looked at you, Wong. It's time to show up. You were the best shooter tonight. Since James was going in, he needed a shooter with him. Vogel then told Drummond, watch the rebounds, especially the offensive ones. Drummond nodded. Since joining the Lakers, he was rarely dominant. He also needed to prove himself. He and James weren't natural fits. James needs 4 guys to space the floor, but Drummond lacks a jumper. He can't space the floor. But this game was different. Your shooting was the key. If they stayed in the paint, you could punish them from deep. And if they chased you out, James would have room to drive. The 3 were subbed in. The Lakers lineup, James, Drummond, Caruso, KCP, and you, except for Drummond being slow. There were no defensive weaknesses. The Lakers kept moving on offense. Looking for an opening, Paul George was now guarding you. PG's defense is top tier. Though known for being on posters, it just proves how hard he defends. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there. Guarding the best player late, Drummond is a big guy. His screens are solid. You rounded his screen, shaking off Paul George. James has elite vision. Seeing you open, he passed. You caught it at the 4-5 degree mark. Without any adjustment, you shot it immediately. A bank shot, 3 ITs, and lead cut to 6 points. The game went on. On the other end, you kept a death grip on Kawhi. James was locked on Paul George. James might be older, unable to lock down for long, but in key possessions, his defensive pressure is still terrifying. Caruso hounded Rondo. Rondo drove and looked to pass. He saw PG was locked down, and Kawhi was smothered. He could only pass to Beverly. Beverly tried to shoot, but KCP's contest stopped him. He passed it back to Rondo. Rondo reset the offense, but seeing everyone covered, he took a forced 3 at the buzzer. Clang. The 3 missed. Lakers on the attack. James grabbed the rebound and fired it to KCP on the break. KCP slammed it home. Gap narrowed to 4. Over the next minute, the Lakers' high-intensity defense shut out the Clippers. Lakers had 2 transition plays, plus James' free throws in year 3. To tie the game, Clippers called a timeout. The atmosphere hit a fever pitch. James gave you a hard high In the 10-cent NBA stream, most of the haters had vanished. Bro Shang was long gone. Only a few trolls remained. Still talking tough, left-handed shots look so awkward. Just a stat patter. The NBA is about personality. With that plain hair, he looks like a total hick. Timeout at Staples Center. Back on the court, Clippers possession, you're still on Leonard. The death grip buff had expired. So you made up your mind. Give it everything you've got. When Kawhi tried to get the ball, you denied the pass aggressively, constantly making physical contact. Though at a physical disadvantage, applying constant pressure would wear down Kawhi's stamina. When Kawhi had the ball, you disrupted his handle, making every touch uncomfortable. Discomfort leads to losing rhythm, and once rhythm is lost, shot accuracy will inevitably drop. Indeed, in the following minutes, Kawhi went 1 for 4 from mid and 0 for 1 from 3. PG was held to 1 for 3 by James. On the Lakers side, exhausted from your efforts, your shooting cooled off. But even so, during this stretch, you still went 2 for 4 from deep. With the tides turning, the Lakers took a 5-point lead, but the Clippers shooters heated up, hitting consecutive threes. Even Coach Rondo hit one. The suspense lasted until the final 28 seconds. Clippers 117, Lakers 115, Clippers up 2, Lakers possession. The fans in the arena, on TV, and on computers and phones all felt their hearts racing. Palms were sweating. Almost everyone was standing. Many women clutched their chests, heads bowed in silent prayer. On the big screen, the camera cut to James. This play was crucial. James is the leader, the team's brain, and the offensive engine. It's only natural he takes the shot. But your threes today were 8 for 12 from 3-point range. It seems no different if it's given to you. How to choose, after all. The atmosphere is heavy. Even the cheerleaders during the timeout, no one is in the mood to watch. Even some of the Lakers players are starting to get nervous, especially those on the bench. They're even clenching their hands tightly, praying silently in their hearts. Caruso keeps wiping sweat with a towel, gulping down water. But you aren't nervous at all. Instead, your eyes are gleaming. Your blood is boiling. Though you've exhausted much energy, with this surging heat in your heart, you can't feel the fatigue at all. To be part of a battle like this, all you feel is pure excitement. This is your natural instinct. Since you were young, the more intense the game, the more thrilled you become. You love competition. You crave it. It's a trait you were born with. Coach Vogel noticed your excitement. He was quite surprised. He has rarely seen a player who thrives like this. As the game gets more intense, often these players perform best. In the most critical moments, he couldn't help but ask Wong, if you take this shot, how would you feel? The Lakers players were all stunned. Though you played well today, for such a clutch shot, trusting a 10-day contract player, can he handle the pressure? In the most critical moments, the psychological pressure is immense. Under such heavy pressure, will his three-pointer still be as cold? Never mind a short-term player, even many starters. Don't dare to shoot in the clutch. Such plays are usually for the star. The coach asking you this now is truly unexpected. Yet, you didn't hesitate for a second. You said immediately, "I feel great." Hearing your words, the other players were even more shocked. Where does a 10-day player get such confidence? Naturally, you couldn't explain how you thrive on pressure. You just said, "I'm just a 10-day player. If I make it, people will say I'm cool. All kinds of praise will follow. If I miss, they'll blame the passer." Why would you pass such a clutch shot? To a 10-day contract player, so the pressure is on you, not me. Your words left them speechless. At the same time, everyone laughed. In such a tense atmosphere, what you just said undoubtedly relieved their stress, but LeBron then said, "Wong, don't move around later. Just wait at the left corner three. He'll drive into the paint. The Clippers will think, I won't pass such a big shot to you. They'll definitely collapse on me. That's when I'll pass it to you." You nodded excitedly. Okay. Though it was just one word, everyone could feel. Within that single word, your absolute hunger for battle. Back on the court, Lakers inbound. LeBron brings it past half court. Lakers are down by only 2. They can go for a 2 or choose a 3, as LeBron instructed. You stay in the corner, you don't even move. Seeing this, the Clippers coach felt slightly relieved. Indeed, Vogel wouldn't trust this shot. To a 10-day contract player, or perhaps this 10-day player, couldn't handle the mental pressure and doesn't even dare to shoot. That's why Hayes not even moving. At this point, he shouted to PG on the sideline, "Watch for the help in the paint." LeBron's threes were off today. Knowing him as Tyronn Lue does, LeBron will 100 Funtaram drive inside. PG nodded. Hayes been beat by LeBron's clutch shots before. This time, no matter what, he can't let LeBron hit the winner. Kawhi is guarding LeBron now. After a crossover, LeBron gets half a step on Kawhi. Then he uses his body to bump Kawhi off, forcing his way into the paint. Now, 2 defenders are already waiting for him, but PG still isn't at ease. He still dives in to help. Just as PG lunges toward LeBron, LeBron's precise pass suddenly flies over PG's shoulder. It's going to PG's heart. Sink. Oh no. He quickly turned around, lunging back toward you, but it was too late. When you caught the ball, PG was still 4 meters away. Catch and shoot. Without a hint of hesitation, the ball arcs high through the air, falling toward the basket. Everyone's eyes are focused on that orange basketball. Clippers players and fans are tense. Your threes today have been terrifying. In this clutch moment for this shot, their hearts are in their throats. Under the gaze of 20,000 spectators, the ball finally reaches the rim. A loud clank is heard. The ball hits the front of the rim, it bounces high. The 20,000 fans in attendance all let out a disappointed groan. The Clippers coach and fans all breathed a sigh of relief. It seems this Lakers no one lacks the mental toughness after all. Missing at such a vital moment, this was the most critical shot. Every Lakers fan watching this is already starting to curse. Why pass to a 10-day contract guy? The commentator's pace is frantic. He shouts excitedly, "Oh no, why pass the ball to Wong?" Admittedly, Wong's performance was great today, but in his entire career, he hasn't played a second of clutch time. He simply can't handle such pressure. That was a terrible choice by LeBron. I wonder if LeBron will regret this. In the Tencent NBA stream, the 2 commentators were disappointed. Wong Meng said, "Wang Yi misses the 3. What a shame." Sukan shook his head. If he made that, it would prove Hayes a big game player. For his chances of a guaranteed contract, it's crucial. However, the live chat is silent now, because the shot rimmed out. But the game isn't over. In this suffocatingly tense moment, even the haters are too stunned to post. On the court, after the ball bounced high, 4 Clippers players crowded the paint, ready to grab the rebound. Except for LeBron, the other Lakers were all outside the 3-point line. They couldn't make it in time. Rondo quickly grabbed the rebound. He prepared to dribble, but before he could put the ball down, a pair of hands reached in from the side. This person grabbed the ball directly. With a sudden burst of strength, he ripped the ball away from Rondo, a total robbery. It was none other than Alex Caruso, the one and only The situation flipped instantly. 4 Clippers players swarmed him. Caruso was wrapped up like a zongzi. He glanced over and saw you still in the corner. Without a second thought, Caruso took a big leap toward the baseline. To create a passing lane, while in midair, he threw the ball back to you. When the fans saw Caruso pass to you again, almost everyone screamed, "No, no, no." The commentator shouted rapidly. Caruso with a steal? He passes to Wong again. Wong just missed. He surely won't shoot this time. Who will he pass to? LeBron is open on the perimeter. There's still time on the clock. Wong should pass to LeBron to reset the offense, but you weren't thinking about that. Wide open look. If you don't shoot, isn't it a waste of a great chance? As for mental pressure, that's a joke. For someone who craves the fight, you don't even know what pressure is. PG is closing out on you again, but after catching the ball, you still didn't hesitate. Your eyes were full of resolve. Bend, lift, jump, release, flick. The entire motion was fluid, pure perfection. PG closed out extremely fast. but because he was too far, he could only watch. As the ball soared over his fingertips, the crowd's heart skipped a beat again. The announcer kept yelling, "No, no, no." The ball glides silently through the air. Staples Center falls dead silent. Everyone held their breath. All eyes were fixed on the ball, following its arc through the sky, until the next moment, swish. As the ball brushes the net, the satisfying sound of a swish echoed. A white splash rippled from the net. The three-pointer is good. Staples Center suddenly erupted with thunderous cheers, like a volcano bursting forth. Across the ocean, in the Penguin NBA livestream room, commentator Wang Meng threw a powerful punch, shouting, "Incredible. That was insane." Sukhan couldn't help but push up his glasses in excitement, saying, "Oh my god, Wang Yi is truly fearless. Especially at such a critical moment. What a big heart. That was a clutch shot." On the bullet chat screen, those haters who wanted to bash you all went silent at this moment. As if they'd been struck dumb, the stream was flooded with 666 and GOAT. But at the arena, the 5 Lakers players on the court had no time to celebrate because the Clippers had called too many timeouts. They had none left to use. The Lakers had to drop back on defense immediately. The Clippers' final play went to Leonard. Once again, you were on defense. You locked your eyes on Leonard. On the sideline, Coach Vogel signaled for a tactical foul. You nodded, watching the clock wind down to the final 13 seconds. Just as Leonard was about to drive, you reached out and grabbed a corner of Leonard's jersey. Since the Lakers hadn't reached for team fouls, the foul didn't result in free throws. The ball was inbounded again. Paul George caught the ball. You stuck to Leonard like glue, giving him no room to receive the pass. PG looked to pass to Leonard several times, but Leonard wasn't open. Then he remembered. You had stripped Leonard twice before. He had to give up on passing. Facing LeBron's defense at the perimeter, he forced a shot. Clang. The ball slammed hard against the back of the rim. The red light on the backboard lit up. The buzzer sounded. The game was over. 118,117. The Lakers won by a single point. The crowd erupted into a tsunami of cheers once more. The players all threw their arms up and roared. Caruso was the first to rush over. He hugged you excitedly. He shouted, "Wang, we won. Thanks to your clutch 3. LeBron and the others also walked over. "Wang, this is your moment," LeBron said. "Enjoy this to the fullest." As a veteran, he was passing on his experience. THT, Gasol, Harrell, and others high-fived you. "Wang, you're a big heart player. You really did it, brother." The players huddled together, enjoying the hard-fought victory. A moment later, the Lakers' emotions began to calm down. The Clippers players walked over to shake hands and hug the Lakers. Leonard hugged LeBron first. Then he came over to hug you. He didn't say much, only uttering one sentence. "You are a respectable opponent." You said even less. "You too." Leonard finished and walked quickly to the tunnel. But when you hugged just now, you could feel the surging fighting spirit in him. All superstars are like that. The stronger the opponent, the more their competitive fire burns. After PG hugged LeBron, he also came over to hug you. "After today, I'll remember your name. I look forward to our next matchup." You nodded and said, "Yeah, I look forward to it too." After they left, another staff member called out to you. Apologetically, they said, "Sorry, Wang, you can't leave yet. A reporter from your country wants an interview." Post-game, interviews are an honor for ordinary players, but for many stars, they can be a nuisance. The staff member was very apologetic, which showed that your status in their eyes had already reached a new level. Hearing it was a reporter from China. You immediately nodded. Let them come over. Meeting a compatriot in a foreign land was something you gladly accepted. Seeing you agree, the staff member nodded quickly. "Okay, bring them over now." Soon, a beautiful reporter and a cameraman approached. You turned to look. The reporter had long, flowing hair, wearing a tight white mini dress, graceful. Her figure was perfectly outlined by the dress. You naturally recognized her, Zhou Lingen. Back when you first entered the NBA, she had done an exclusive interview with you. Chinese fans who watch the NBA often should be familiar with her. She often conducts interviews after games, doing post-game segments with players. However, her status in the NBA is far below TNT or Bignum ESPN reporters. So, normally, she doesn't get to interview star players post-game. Usually it's just role players. "Hi, Wang Yi, we meet again." She greeted you gracefully. It wasn't your first time meeting, and hearing Mandarin in the NBA is rare, which felt very comforting. You also smiled. "Long time no see," Zhou Lingen said. "Congratulations on your amazing performance, and for hitting the game shot." You nodded. "Thanks, Zhou," Lingen continued. "You only played 15 minutes tonight, shooting 9 of 13 from 3, with 28 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, and a block. After such an incredible performance, how do you feel right now?" You looked thoughtful. As if gathering your words, Zhou Lingen didn't rush you. She knew that after entering the NBA, all players undergo media training. They know what to say, and what not to say. A moment later, you seemed to have decided your words were ready. Taking a breath, you replied, "Great." Zhou Lingen was stunned. Then she couldn't help but laugh. Preparing for so long, just for a one-word answer, the cameraman couldn't hold it back either. The camera began to shake slightly. Joe Lingen stopped laughing and asked, "So, what's the secret? What drove such an amazing performance?" This time you didn't hesitate. You smiled and said, "Just so that after the game, I could be interviewed by you." Hearing this, Joe Lingen beamed with a radiant smile. "You're quite the humorist." Then she asked one last question. "Many fans back home support you. Do you have anything to say to them?" You nodded. "To the fans who support me, I won't let you down. As for the haters, talk all the trash you want. If I even give you a second of my time, I lose." Joe Lingen was slightly taken aback. You looked quite gentle on the surface. She didn't expect you to be so blunt, but it made sense. You hadn't produced results these past 2 years, and many fans at home had lost interest. That's understandable. But the haters kept trashing your game, and you'd had enough. Many haters even resorted to personal attacks, even attacking your family. To say you weren't angry would be impossible. Now, after such a great performance, you could finally hold your head high. What you just said was a long-awaited comeback. Against those who constantly bashed you, Joe Lingen smiled and said, "Wang Yi, thank you for the interview. I look forward to more great games from you." You nodded. "See you next time." You said goodbye to Joe Ling. When you entered the player tunnel, you were slightly surprised. LeBron was waiting for you at the entrance. Usually, when a role player has a breakout performance, LeBron and AD will wait for them by the entrance of the tunnel before heading to the locker room. After such an incredible game today and hitting the game winner, you definitely earned that treatment. LeBron patted your shoulder and said, "Brother, come to the press conference with me later. I told you before, your luck was about to change." You laughed and said, "Thanks." Back in the locker room, you took a bath, then followed LeBron to the press conference. This was your first post-game press conference. You answered every question from the reporters. Your answers were flawless and professional. Occasionally, you'd crack a joke or two, drawing laughter from the room. Meanwhile, in the Staples Center jersey shop, a blonde boy about 10 years old ran in frantically. Holding $10 in his hand, he told the clerk, "I want a Lakers No.1 jersey." The clerk shook his head. "Sorry, we don't have a No.1 jersey." The boy was confused. "How is that possible?" "The player who hit the game winner tonight, Wang, I want his jersey." The clerk shook his head again. Smiling, he said, "I'm really sorry. He is currently on a 10-day contract. In our store, we don't sell jerseys for 10-day contract players. 10-day contracts are maybe after this game, he'll be immediately cut. And even if he isn't, he'll only play for 10 days. After that, he might go to another team, or no one will sign him again. Naturally, we can't sell their jerseys." The boy grew anxious hearing this. "Then what should I do? I just want Wang's jersey." The clerk shrugged. "Sorry, if you have a phone, leave your number. When his jersey is available, we will notify you immediately." As they were speaking, the boy's parents entered the store. After learning the situation, they left their number. Before the boy left, he kept reminding the clerk, "If Wang's jersey arrives, please notify me at once. I really want his jersey." Meanwhile, some fans were tweeting, "They actually don't have Wang's jersey. What the hell? Heard it's because Wang's on a 10-day contract. Lakers, give him a guarantee now. Pelinka, get on it." At this moment, you were completely unaware of the outside world. As for the guaranteed contract, you weren't worried at all. With these 2 games, you've already proven your value. Quality 3D players are highly coveted in the NBA. Even if the Lakers don't guarantee you, other teams surely will fight to offer you a contract. Moreover, the Lakers lack quality 3D players most. You trust Pelinka won't stay idle. That night, you went to sleep early in Caruso's garage, but on the Chinese internet across the ocean, because of your game winner today, things were completely exploding. Every NBA media outlet online was basically mentioning your name. Tencent NBA, a surprise. Wang Yi, 28 points in 15 minutes. First clutch game winner by a Chinese player. Hupu basketball. Sorry, King James. A new king is taking the throne. Pelinka, what are you waiting for? All sorts of reports and posts spread rapidly across the web. Admittedly, many of these were exaggerated, but domestic media is like that. When you play poorly, they'll stomp you into the dirt. When you play well, they'll lift you to the heavens. As a Chinese player in the NBA, you must be prepared to be praised, but also ready to be crushed. On famous commentator Yang Yi's Weibo, he posted just one word: thrilling. What does that word represent? The answer is self-evident. For domestic fans, since Yao Ming retired, they have been waiting for the next Chinese player to stick in the NBA. Though you went to the NBA, you just carried bags for 2 years, only getting minutes during garbage time? There was nothing to show for it. But today's game, you not only dropped 28 points, but also hit the game winner. This made Chinese fans feel like the frustration held for over a decade was finally mostly vented out. The news of your game winner also hit 8 on Weibo's trending list. Even those who don't follow basketball, seeing a Chinese player succeeding in the NBA would go and search for it. Your miracle of 28 points in 15 minutes also spread across short video platforms. To all of this, you were completely oblivious. Next morning at 5:30 a.m., as you woke up, the cold electronic voice rang again. Complete 1,000 defensive slides. Lateral speed will increase by 20 Funterum. Hearing this reward, you became instantly alert. If lateral speed increases by 20 Fintarum, you'll instantly enter the league's elite. In that case, your defensive quality will skyrocket. It seems you're truly becoming a top 3D player. Unable to contain your excitement, you headed to the gym. Though the guard was woken up, he didn't complain at all. Instead, he was very warm. Wong, so early today. I saw your game winner last night. So cool. Sign an autograph for me later. The guard was a loyal Lakers fan. For half his life, he had basically always worked at the Lakers arenas. You said, anytime. The guard nodded. Great. He'll find you in a bit. By the way, you're really hard. I've only seen one person like you before. Know who it was? Kobe Bryant. You replied instantly. Kobe was famous for his diligence in the NBA. The guard nodded. He laughed. Keep it up, brother. I hope in the near future, I can see a third Mamba. You just smiled. Without saying a word, being the second Mamba is an honor, but you don't want to be the second anyone. You only want to be the first you, the one and only you. Entering the gym, you took off your jacket, got into stance, and quickly began defensive slide training. At 9 a.m., Lakers players arrived one after another. You had finished E10 defensive slides. Hearing the completion prompt, you felt completely powerless, as if you'd collapsed. You dragged yourself to the bench, panting heavily. When you had mostly recovered, you looked up and saw GM Pelinka had approached you. Wong, I have something to discuss. Please come with me. You immediately guessed what it was. Following Pelinka to his office, he pointed to the sofa. Sit. He poured you a glass of water. Generally speaking, GMs are very shrewd people. They say what you want to hear, but Pelinka was different. He liked being straightforward. Once you finished your water, he got straight to the point. Wong, I won't guarantee you yet. You were a bit surprised. With that performance, Pelinka wasn't giving a guarantee. Your 3D attributes in these two games were exactly what the Lakers needed. By all rights, Pelinka should have offered a guarantee. You remained silent. Waiting for his explanation, Pelinka continued, your play has earned the team's respect. Enough for a 2 meters guarantee, but I think you're worth more than that. So, for now, I won't give you that 2 meters deal. With our current cap space, we can still offer over 5M, but for 5M, you need to prove you deserve it, so I want to watch a few more games. If before this 10-day contract ends, you play as we expect, I will give you that 5M guarantee. You breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what Pelinka meant. He didn't sign you immediately, just to see more. Through the next few games, to see if you could earn the higher, Woomi, salary. You nodded. I understand, Pelinka continued. Of course, even if in the end, you don't get the 5 meters guarantee, I will still give you a guarantee. Just the 2 meters one. Based on your game winner alone, you're worth those 2M. Hearing this, you smiled. Thank you. Honestly, Pelinka's a decent guy. After morning practice, you went out for lunch with teammates. Returning from lunch, you saw the guard, uncle, holding a Lakers jersey and a marker. You smilingly signed it for him. He looked very happy, Wong. You must keep working hard. When you're a superstar, they'll sell this jersey online. It'll definitely fetch a good price. You were momentarily speechless. He laughed. Just kidding. How could I sell a Lakers jersey? Time quickly reached 9 p.m. on the third day. Today was another game day. The opponent for this game was the Phoenix Suns. The Suns eliminated the Lakers last year, making the Lakers the first defending champs out in the first round. It was a shameful record. So the whole team was itching for revenge, especially star LeBron James. After last year's exit, he faced plenty of ridicule from NBA legends to countless though it's just a regular season game, LeBron didn't want to lose. Before the game even started, in Tencent's NBA livestream room, fans were already discussing it. The chat was overflowing. Do you think Wang Yi can explode from deep again? It's very likely. I hope he can. For our country, it's been a long time since we had a real hooper. Of course, there are plenty of haters too. Explode my ass. This 3, you think Hayes really Steph Curry? Heard AD is out tonight with an injury. That makes the Suns' defense much easier. Their attention will be spread more to other players. In this situation, if Wang Yi can still go off, that would be a miracle. Yeah, he went off the last 2 games. Just like Jeremy Lin back then, other teams didn't know him yet. Now that Hayes had 2 big games, the Suns must have scouted him. If he can still explode, the Suns' coaching staff should resign. If he goes off again, he'll eat SHT on the live stream. As soon as that comment appeared, someone fired back. Get lost. You haven't even eaten what you owed last time. Now you're back here trolling for more. In the Penguin NBA livestream room, the host was Kifan, and the guest was the famous commentator, Media Man, Yang Yi. The hostess was still Mena. Kifan asked first, Teacher Yang, the game hasn't started yet. Can you predict the trend of this game? Yang Yi smiled. Are you trying to see me get embarrassed? But as for a prediction, it can't be 100 Funtarum accurate. AD is out for this game. Chris Paul is playing through injury. History is repeating itself. As for the trend, the Suns have Paul and Cook. The Lakers relying only on LeBron won't work. Other players must step up. 3. Then they'll have a chance. Hearing this, QI fan, Asked again, who do you think will step up? Yang Yi didn't hesitate. Lakers' three-pointers have been a problem since last season. It's continued into this season. KCP is very inconsistent. Caruso and Kuzma hit a few occasionally. ERS, to use their threes as a weapon. Takers, is still a bit lacking for Schroeder's three is also unreliable. 4. So as for who can step up, one is Schroeder, if he can drive. The second is our player, Wang Yi, but it's hard for Wang Yi now. Hayes exploded for 2 games. The Suns will certainly use targeted defensive strategies on him. The chance of him going off today is slim. The game started at 9:30 p.m. This is the last of the Lakers' 5-game homestand. Fans filled the seats early. Best actor Jack Nicholson was also there today. He starred in The Shining and Cuckoo's Nest. Hayes won an Academy Award for Best Actor. Hayes also the Lakers' most famous fan. For almost every Lakers game all season, he is present. At this moment, he sat in his VIP seat, row 1. No, 124. This is his long-term reserved seat. From here, he can watch the game up close and vent his frustration at the referees. He uses it to pressure the officials. Right now, his gaze fell on you in the no one jersey. Hayes followed the Lakers for over 50 years, witnessing the team's ups and downs for decades. This season, due to LeBron's age, his average has dropped to just 20.1, and AD is frequently injured. So the Lakers' ranking isn't high. It seems the Lakers are in decline again. But after the past 2 games, he seems to see a glimmer of hope. And that hope was brought by this Easterner. The reason the Lakers are struggling, injuries and LeBron's decline, are certainly 2 main reasons. But the Lakers' terrible three-point percentage is the most important factor. If the Lakers can solve the three-point issue, then their performance can be expected. Now, this Easterner perhaps will become a key player in changing their shooting. Of course, these were just Jack Nicholson's inner thoughts. Whether this man can handle the responsibility remains to be seen over more games. The game begins. Lakers starters, LeBron, Schroeder, Drummond, Pope, and Caruso. No big changes for the Suns starters. LeBron gave the ball to Schroeder right away, letting him attack first. If Schroeder can get going, then on LeBron's side, the defensive pressure will be much lower. Schroeder drove for 2 points, then LeBron hit a 3-50 start. Looks very smooth today. However, the situation suddenly changed. Booker hit 2 threes for the Suns. Paul hit another mid-range jumper. Meanwhile, the Suns used the same defense. They played a zone defense. To break a zone, one way is hitting threes, the other is too fast break. The Lakers failed twice to run the break. As for the threes, the perimeter players kept their usual form, plenty of effort. Except for the initial three-pointer, LeBron made. The others on the three-point line clanked 3 in a row. They were about to break the rim. On the other side, Booker started to explode in the first. In just 5 minutes, he hit 4 three-pointers. 4-4-4 in 4 minutes. The score reached 514. Down by 9, the Lakers quickly called a timeout. In the Penguin NBA livestream, Mena was stomping her feet in anxiety. She was truly stomping her feet. When the camera wasn't on her, she kept frowning, silently saying, "What is this play?" Key fan kept shaking his head. History is repeating itself. Is last year's Game 6 first quarter repeating? Yang Yi also shook his head. In last year's Game 6 first quarter, Devin Booker was 6 for 6 from 3, scoring 22 points. Today, in 4 minutes, Hayes already 4 for 4 from 3. Hayes dropped 12 points. One man beating the whole Lakers team. This scoring gravity is just too much. Looking at the game's trend, it's heading just like last year, K-Fan said. Let's see how Coach Vogel adjusts. Will he put in Wang Yi? Yang Yi thought for a bit. He shook his head. Not this soon. Wang Yi should be in the rotation today. But he won't come on this early. In fact, it was just as he said. When the Lakers returned from timeout, you weren't sent in. Vogel had Pope shadow Booker and had others help double him, but the offensive issues remained. The Suns still played a zone, forcing the Lakers to shoot threes. The Lakers' shooting was still way off. LeBron was forced, Suns 22, to try driving early, but with everyone in the paint, 22 his driving efficiency dropped. He is old after all, not like before, when head drive no matter what, flying for a dunk. Now, when LeBron drives, he can basically only manage a layup, or rely on a turnaround fadeaway. Though he made 2 shots, Booker was on fire, even with Pope's defense and double team. He still hit 2 ridiculous threes, 6 for 6 from behind the arc, plus layups. Hayes already scored 20 points, truly replicating his Game 6 performance. After half the quarter, the Lakers were down by 15. Vogel quickly called another timeout. If they fall behind by 20, it'll be hard to come back. When the Lakers walked off, everyone looked grim, especially LeBron. He thought of last year's Game 6 again. His memory is far beyond ordinary. This gives him many advantages, like remembering every opponent's play, remembering every hand signal, and what they mean, but it also brings him distress. It's hard to forget painful moments. Those painful moments would replay in his head repeatedly. Every detail felt like he was there again. Down 15 in just 6 minutes. 9:00K. Book Boder tied the record, 10-22. In the stands at Staples Center, the fans weren't as hyped anymore. Everyone remembered last year's Game 6. Booker was 6 for 6 from 3. Then 2. The Lakers' situation plummeted. They didn't want to see a repeat. As a traditional powerhouse, a team with 17 championships, Lakers fans are very demanding. They won't encourage the team. Just because they're struggling, they would only curse Vogel. Figure something out. What is this? It's complete dog. I spent all this money to watch you play like kids, FC Kim. Of course, there were also many rational fans. Only hitting threes can save them now. But these bricklayers shoot threes worse than Shaq. Then someone thought of your hot streak. Cuter, Coach Vogel. Enter. Put him in now. Enter. What are you waiting for? The Overlord takes the court. Many in the arena started shouting along. Vogel's gaze shifted toward you. Originally, for today, he planned to have you play late in the second quarter. For just a few minutes. After all, he couldn't put you in the rotation. Just because you played 2 good games. It had to be done slowly. But before the rotation even took the court, the situation was already getting out of hand. With no choice, he had to send you in early to try. Wong, you're up. Replace Schrader? Hearing this, Schrader simply nodded and sat silently on the bench. Actually, Vogel replacing Schrader with you had a specific purpose. Schrader is too short. Booker shooting over him was like shooting fish in a barrel. By putting you in with your defense, you should be able to limit Booker. Meanwhile, from the three-point line, he also hoped you could give the team support. The moment you stepped onto the court, it felt as cold as the previous 2 games. An electronic chime sounded. Arena check-in successful, obtained junior block experience card. You didn't look closely, nor did you use it immediately. Because the Lakers were on offense now, no need for blocks yet. After you stepped on the court and faced off against Devin Booker, your heart began to boil. Your eyes flickered with excitement. Devin Booker once scored 70 points. He also scored 50 in 2 consecutive games. His scoring ability is off the charts. Facing such an opponent only fired up your competitive spirit. Your eyes met Devin Booker's. He saw the fighting spirit in your eyes. Clearly, Booker knew of your performance in the last 2 games. On the first play, the Suns still played zone defense, although they knew your 3-pointers were deadly. You've only played 2 good games after all, so they didn't guard you closely right away, but wanted to test your shooting rhythm first. Thus, while outside the 3-point line, you easily caught James's pass. Without a moment's hesitation, you shot with your left hand. Swish. Clean and sharp. The 3-pointer went in. 3 points, the lead narrowed to 12. The crowd finally cheered again. Seeing this, Devin Booker took the ball. As a star player, he had to respond. Plus, his 3-point shot was hot right now. You could guess what he was thinking. So you immediately activated the block experience card. Junior block experience card activated successfully. Block success rate, 50 Funterum. Duration, 10 minutes. Devin Booker didn't try to avoid you at all. He is taller than you. No need to dodge. He pulled up for a 3 right in your face. As a former 3-point contest champion, he had that much confidence. The home announcers were the Lakers crew. Naturally, they were biased toward the Lakers. Seeing Booker pull up for a 3, he shook his head. Oh no. Devin Booker is pulling up. However, before he could finish, you had already jumped with him. Your left fingertips just touched the ball. The trajectory of the ball changed. After flying 2 meters, it fell weakly. The announcer's sentence was cut short. Blocked. It's a block by Wong. He blocked Booker. That's so cool. At the same time, Caruso grabbed the ball and led the break. Kuzma was already running like crazy. An easy dunk followed. The lead was suddenly cut to 10. The fans erupted in cheers. Devin Booker glanced at you, his anger flaring up. After Paul dribbled past half, he knew what Booker was thinking. Shut down by a nobody, like one. He naturally wanted to get back at him. As a veteran, point guard, Chris Paul also knew the importance of letting Booker save face. He passed the ball to Booker. Then he signaled the others to clear out. It was Booker Wunion with you. This time he didn't pull up immediately. Instead, he suddenly drove to the right. He seemed to want to beat you with speed. You immediately took a step back. Just as you took that step, Booker performed he stepped back behind the arc, and then raised his hand for a 3. However, you lunged at him with incredible speed. Just as Booker raised the ball, before he could even release it, you smothered him completely. Stripping the ball and the man together, a perfect Wade-style block. The announcer was stunned. Oh my god, Wong blocked him again. How can he be so fast? This is unbelievable. Simply unbelievable. Devin Booker was also a bit dazed. Logically, that crossover into a should have shaken this kid off. How could he lunge forward so fast? In fact, the step back you took when he drove was actually a defensive feint. You knew Booker, having been blocked once, would be desperate. 2, likely shoot another 3 in your face, so your upper body was already leaning forward. You were prepared to lunge. When Booker stepped back, you were already on him like a shadow. Naturally, it looked incredibly fast. Actually, there was an element of gambling. If Booker had truly driven to the hoop, you would have been toast. But you were right. Taking the ball down, you dribbled quickly toward the front court. Paul chased after you with his head down. You originally intended to finish it yourself, but considering the injury to your right hand, a left-handed layup wasn't as smooth. So, after crossing the 3-point line, You threw a behind-back pass to KCP trailing behind. KCP caught the ball and soared high. With a thunderous bang, the dunk was successful. The deficit was down to only 8 points. The cheers grew several decibels louder. The arena DJ drew out his voice, announcing KCP's dunk. Assist by WANG. The DJ wasn't blind. He knew that for this basket to happen, 90 Fun Taram of the credit went to you, blocking the red-hot Booker and securing the ball. That's what led to KCP's dunk. So when announcing your name, the DJ's voice was exceptionally high and exceptionally long. The DJ's voice was incredibly infectious. The atmosphere in the arena heated up again. Fans began to discuss among the cheers. I told you, Wong should have been in long ago. 2 blocks in a row. And against the Suns' best scorer, this is so cool. Wong doesn't look like a 10-day contract player. I think Hayes a star player. Suns coach Monty Williams was cautious. After the Lakers' 70 run, he quickly called a timeout. During the timeout, he observed Booker closely. Booker was drinking from a water bottle, but his eyes showed a fierce fighting spirit. Blocked twice in a row by that Easterner. He couldn't accept it. Where did this nobody come from? How dare he mess with me? Coach Williams knew Booker was young and easily frustrated. If he just suppressed him, problems would surely arise. So he had to let him win it back himself. But he had to do it the right way, not just blindly. He patted Booker on the back. He said, "Devin, you have to take it back. Teach that Eastern kid a lesson." Booker tightened the cap forcefully. He said firmly, "I know." Coach Williams nodded. "But you can't shoot threes anymore. That kid's blocking ability is strong, and he seems experienced in defending the three. So you must change your strategy. Drive on him. Shred his defense." Understand, for young Devin, asking him to change strategy was almost like asking him to compromise. If it were 2 years ago, he would never have agreed. But after last year's playoffs, he had matured a lot, as long as he gets the last laugh. The twists in the process don't matter. He nodded. Understood. Hearing this, Paul nearby felt somewhat relieved. For the Suns to achieve more, Booker, their leader, had to grow up. From the look of it, he was indeed growing fast. Back on the court, the game continued. Paul dribbled. Past half court, he gave it to Booker again. Everyone cleared out for the ISO. Booker faced your defense. He dribbled slowly between his hands. After 4 dribbles, his rhythm suddenly changed. He raised his hands as if to shoot. You immediately stepped up to block, but it was just a hesitation fake. Next, his center of gravity dropped. He planned to blow past you on the left, but as he tried to break through, you slid across with extreme speed. He slammed right into your chest. Booker's reaction was also fast. Failing on the left, he went with a behind-back dribble and instantly moved to the right. Intending to drive from the right, however, after just 1 step, there was a dull thud. Hit your chest once again. Booker couldn't break through, could only take a few steps back, creating some space, then tried to drive in again. But your lateral speed is just too fast. Every single time, perfectly. Cutting off Booker's path, Booker's repeated attempts failed. Forced back behind the arc. You were faked out on this drive. But even so, can't let Booker get an easy shot. You lunged with all your might. Without making any body contact, trying to contest his shot, Booker was getting a bit anxious, perhaps fearing your block. So on this attempt, the ball hit the back rim. Drummond grabbed the rebound. Commentator, did you see that? Did you see Wong's defense? Of course I did. It's airtight. Absolutely flawless. His lateral speed is incredible. Devin Booker can't get past him. Fastest lateral movement I've seen. To put it bluntly, Hayes elite among active players. Despite your strong defense, Lakers missed the next shot. Suns back on the attack. Booker still couldn't break you. Forced into another tough shot, missed the three-pointer. Lakers on the fast break, you drained a 3. Lead is down to 5 points. Turning back, Suns on the offensive. Paul saw Booker was frustrated, knew they couldn't go on like this, needed him to cool down. Team hasn't scored in a while. He had to step up and score. That's Paul's veteran experience. When the offense flows, Hayes, the floor general, feeding his teammates. When the offense stalls, he takes it upon himself. He didn't pass to Booker, but made a gesture to him, pressing his hand down, signaling him to calm down. Booker still respected Paul, though annoyed he couldn't score. He knew he had to settle down. He didn't call for the ball, but set a screen for Paul. Lakers subbed out Drummond and brought in Howard, greatly increasing team mobility. Lakers' defensive strategy is switch everything on screens. You switched onto Paul. Paul saw your defense on Booker, noted you love to leap. Against this type of defender, Paul has 100 ways to toy with him. Facing your defense, suddenly spinning to your right, you followed to cut him off. But Paul only spun halfway, drove low to your left. You quickly shifted left. Paul had half a step on you. As you moved across, he gathered the ball, preparing to jump, wanted to fake you out, but this time you didn't bite. Paul was sure he'd lose you. Confidently took the shot. Mid-range is like a layup for him, but you jumped with his release. Paul was startled, leaning back hard mid-air, but your fingertips grazed it. Ball flew 2 meters, then fell away weakly. Paul frowned. This guy loves to jump. So, why didn't he this time? He didn't know you weren't just a leaper. Though out of the league for 2 years, Outside of training and sleep, you spent every hour watching film, analyzing every player's habits. You knew all 30 NBA teams, every starters and sub-skills, their moves and habits, even their temperaments. To put it frankly, even their own teammates didn't know them as well as you. You don't just jump blindly. Only against players like Booker. You knew Paul was short. So after a drive, if he hasn't cleared space, he usually fakes first. So on Paul's first fake, you didn't leave your feet. When Paul actually jumped, you jumped with him. Blocking seems simple, but it's the result of years of relentless hard work. Blocking Chris Paul, ball fell right to Ayton turned for the shot. You were the closest. Before Ayton could release, with a loud smack, you swatted it in his face. Flew straight to Crowder. Crowder saw an open rim, rose up for the dunk, but you shifted laterally, appearing right in front of him, then soared high, arms extended, like a volleyball block. The dunk slammed into your hands. LeBron grabbed the loose ball, fired a signature long pass to Kuzma on the fast break. Kuzma with the one-hand flush. The arena erupted like a volcano, a deafening roar from the crowd. The roof of Staples Center, before this massive cheering, was practically trembling. With 3 blocks in a row, you let out a roar, as if releasing 2 years of pent-up emotion. Then you raised your right hand, wagged your finger 3 times. Commentators are going wild. Back-to-back blocks. What am I seeing? The Great African Mountain. No, it's the Asian Mountain. Hayes, the impassable Mount Everest. Inside the 10-cent NBA stream, in the live comments, 666 and GOAT flooded the screen. Manager Pelinka found you later. You thought your performance was enough to earn a 2M guaranteed contract? To your surprise, Pelinka said you were worth more. He believed your potential is worth 5 meters. But during this 10-day contract, you must prove it. He wants to see more from you. Even if you don't shine again, he promised, you'll still get the 2 meters deal. Because that game winner was worth it, and you didn't let him down. 2 days later, Lakers versus Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker was red hot. 6-for-6 from deep in 5 minutes. Almost repeating last year. Demolishing the Lakers single-handedly. Torn apart at home. The fans were restless, chanting for you to get in. Vogel turned his gaze to you. Hadn't planned on using you so soon, but before the rotation even shifted, the game was slipping away. So you subbed in against the Tide. But Booker was in the zone, looking like an unstoppable god. Much to everyone's surprise, you recorded 2 blocks immediately, leaving Devin Booker stunned. Suns coach called a timeout to settle Booker down, but they didn't know. Those blocks were just appetizers. Play resumed. Veteran Paul had the ball. He thought a rookie was easy prey, but you had mastered his style. Another block. Your fingertips grazed it. The shot flew 2 meters. Before falling away weakly, ball fell right to Ayton. Ayton turned for the shot. You were the closest. Jumped again before he shot. Swatted it right in his face. Flew straight to Crowder. Crowder saw an open rim, rose up for the dunk, but you shifted in a flash. Right in front of him, then soared high. Arms extended. Like a volleyball block, dunk slammed into your hands. LeBron grabbed the loose ball. Fired a signature long pass to Kuzma on the fast break. Kuzma with the one-hand flush. The arena erupted like a volcano, a deafening roar. The roof of Staples Center, before this massive cheering, was practically trembling, and there you stood. With 3 straight blocks, you let out a roar, as if releasing 2 years of pent-up emotion. Then you raised your right hand, extending your index finger, wagged it 3 times. Commentators are going wild. Back-to-back blocks. What am I seeing? The Great African Mountain. No, it's the Asian Mountain Wong. Hayes, the impassable Mount Everest. Across the ocean on 10. Inside the NBA stream, in the live comments, 666 and GOAT flooded the screen. Inside the stream, K-Fan and Young Yi were also full of praise. This defense seems to have reached another level since the last game. Yeah, he blocked Booker twice. Paul once, Ayton once, and Crowder once. Only 5 minutes into the game, and he already has 5 blocks. Hayes only 1.92 meters tall. This blocking ability is truly outstanding. Everyone sees his shot. But what I'm more focused on is those plays where he defended Booker. His lateral speed is so fast. Booker simply had no way to break through. This makes me look forward to the rest of the game. Just as they were saying this, the broadcast cut to the referee. The referee signaled a T. K-Fan said in surprise, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what's going on?" He was given a T. Yang Yi was also very surprised. The camera was just following Harrell on the break, so we didn't see what actually happened. Let's take a quick look. The replay is already out. It shows you, after 3 consecutive blocks, wagging your finger in the air. K-Fan suddenly realized, oh, it's the finger wag. Wang Yi wagged his finger after those 3 blocks. Yang Yi also shook his head at the finger wag. In the entire NBA, only Mutombo has special league permission to wag his finger. Wang Yi's second short-term contract is $20,000. This one T will cost him $25 lean dollars. It's not really worth it, K-Fan said. I'm sure LeBron will pay the fine for him. The haters on the chat, who had just gone quiet, jumped out again, disrespectful. Character shows through sportsmanship. With such poor sportsmanship, he must be a terrible person, just because he got 3 blocks. Damn, Hayes getting cocky. Damn, haha, even though you got a T, you don't regret it at all? The NBA is meant to be a place to show personality. If you don't celebrate after 3 blocks, then when can you? Since you were called for a T, the Suns received a free throw. After Paul made it, they continued their attack. This time, you met their offense with a massive block. Sending the ball flying into the stands, the crowd erupted again. The system's blocking experience card theoretically raises your block rate to 50 funtarum, but combined with your technical knowledge, familiarity with movements and habits, the probability is actually much higher. Turning back around, you nailed another 3-pointer, and because Booker closed out too aggressively, he fouled you on the arm. So, it was a 4-point play. Your free throw was still very steady. That shot tied the score immediately. The first quarter ended. Yang Yi commented on the Tencent stream, "The Lakers are truly a miraculous team. Down by 15 midway through the quarter, and they tied it in just half a quarter." K-Fan nodded and said, "The Lakers finally don't have to repeat the failure of last year's Game 6. All of this started to change the moment our player, Wang Yi, stepped onto the court. To be honest, in these 3 games, Wang Yi has surprised us every time." Yang Yi continued. In Game 1, his threes were In Game 2, besides threes, he showed lockdown defense. In this 3rd game, he showed off blocking skills. It's as if he has an arsenal, pulling out a different weapon each game, leaving opponents with no way to defend. Suns head coach Williams encouraged his players, while setting the pace for them, "We must slow the tempo down. Try to play slow. Don't give them fast break opportunities." He knew the Lakers' defense was strong, so usually you'd want to play fast against them. But playing fast now leads to turnovers, making it easy for the Lakers to counterattack, so he could only try to slow the pace, using Paul's playmaking to try and score. It was like having 2 bottles of poison in front. He just picked the first bottle and was killed by it once. After being reborn this time, even though he knows the other is also poison, with a give it a try mindset, he still had to choose the other one. After the adjustments, his gaze, intentionally or not, drifted to the far end, toward you on the Lakers bench. The Suns were in a great position before, but everything changed when this guy checked in. If they want to win the game, they have to solve this problem. Thinking of this, he turned to look at Crowder. A moment later, he shook his head slightly. "Let's see how it goes first. If it really doesn't work, I'll use him in the 3rd. As soon as the second quarter started, most of the Lakers starters were resting. Only Schroeder was on court with the bench. The bench players, perhaps inspired by your 3 blocks, were playing exceptionally aggressively. Morris and Gasol hit back-to-back threes. Even Drummond managed to hit a 3-point. Plus, Schroeder had 3 straight drives. On the other hand, the Suns, perhaps demoralized by your 3 blocks, seemed a bit missing outside shots was one thing, but they were even blowing dunks inside. With 3 minutes left in the half, the Lakers were already up by 12. You checked back in at this time, blocked another 2 shots, and knocked down 2 3-pointers. By the end of the first half, the Lakers had extended the lead to 20 points. Halftime, the commentators were very excited. This game, at the start, looked like a repeat of last year's Game 6, but Wang completely changed the course. Now, the Lakers are up by 20. Wang didn't just change the momentum, he completely overturned the game. Let's look forward to the second half, to see if Wang can perform even better. In VIP seat 124, in the front row, Oscar winner Jack Nicholson's crimson eyes. Behind those, his eyes showed total satisfaction. So far, this guy from the East keeps surprising the Lakers. Maybe the hope of their revival lies with him. Meanwhile, in the visitors' locker room, the Suns players were feeling down. They've been down by 20 before, and more than once. Logically, they shouldn't be this discouraged. But today's game is different. Since that Lakers no one entered the game, they've been sinking into an abyss. There's no sign of a chance to catch up. They can't score on offense, and can't stop them on defense. How can they keep playing? Even their star, Devin Booker, hung his head, covering his head with a towel, saying absolutely nothing. Seeing this, the veteran Paul clapped his hands hard. Giving up already? Are we going to be called quitters? Everyone wake the hell up. Remember how we eliminated them last year? They were the defending champions then. If we could turn champions into losers, then in front of these losers now, are we going to be cowards? Paul is one of the most competitive and high-spirited players in the NBA. These words of his slowly lifted the players' spirits, but being down by a full 20 points, just this pep talk alone, was far from enough. Therefore, Coach Williams looked at Crowder again and said, "Shut down that Eastern guy in the 3rd. He didn't mean just playing simple defense. He meant provoking and enraging the opponent, not excluding flagrant physical contact." Back in the finals with the Heat, Crowder, as a Heat player then, certainly gave his opponents a rough time. Fans don't like such villains, and players detest them. But for a team to get results, you need someone like that on the team. Like Bruce Bowen on the Spurs, Draymond Green on the Warriors, Zaza Pachulia or Andrew Bogut, or Crowder with the Heat's big 3. They all played such roles. Crowder understood his mission. He gave an okay gesture and told his teammates, "Leave him to me. Don't worry. Once the third quarter starts, they kept the same starters from the first. However, Schroeder seemed a bit distracted. After only 3 minutes, he had 2 turnovers and was subbed out by the coach. You suited up and got back on the court. You've truly entered the rotation now. On the bench, THT felt a bit down. That rotation spot was supposed to be his, but because of your performance, his playing time has been heavily cut. But that's the cruelty of sports. If you're good, you play. If not, you're phased out. All he can do is train harder. When the chance comes, he must seize it to prove himself. Instead of sitting on the bench, complaining like a bitter victim, as for Schroeder, his gaze seemed to wander off court. No one knew what he was thinking. After you entered the game, though your threes weren't as hot as before, with a baseline 45 fun Tarum accuracy, you still shoot better than most. This forced the Suns to change strategy. They didn't dare use zone defense anymore and had to extend their defense. As a result, the Lakers had space to drive in. James made 3 straight drives. Caruso drove in once too, scoring inside and out. Looking at the Suns, you've blocked them twice more. Plus, Booker has lost his touch. Love's drive was shut down by you. Others aren't as cold as before. And though Paul made 2 jumpers, under the Lakers' surging offense, Hayes struggling to carry the load. The lead is nearing 30 points. Lakers are on the attack now. As usual, you continue to run off screens for the ball. Right then, Crowder took advantage of the refs watching the ball. He grabbed your arm and yanked it. Your heart skipped a beat. You went down with the force, crashing heavily onto the floor. Luckily, you fell with the pull. Otherwise, with Crowder's strength, your arm might have dislocated. Crowder stumbled 2 steps, then fell to the floor, complaining about a foul. He pulled me down. Hayes playing dirty. The villain plays the victim, but since attention was on the top, the refs missed the exchange. The baseline ref signaled play on. You got up, shook out your arm, and kept running. While Crowder chased you, he kept using dirty tricks. The sneakiest was the pinch, just like a wicked old nanny. Pinching your waist? You've studied Crowder. He didn't used to do this. In the entire NBA, Chris Paul uses the pinch most. Since Paul isn't tall, he uses these hidden tricks. While playing defense, it's painful and intimidating. Designed to make you wary, in a high-intensity game, it's hard for refs to catch. Now Crowder has learned it too. You sneered to yourself. It's just a pinch, right? Anyone can do that. When Crowder chased too close, or when you two got tangled, you secretly pinched him back. Crowder cursed under his breath. After 2 more minutes of this, your waist was black and blue. Crowder wasn't faring better, being black. His bruises weren't as visible, but he was just as battered. This is how you handled dirty play. Give him a taste of his own medicine. Forget sportsmanship or court ethics. Crowder's hidden moves are rarely caught by refs. Complaining gets you nowhere. In this situation, should you just take it? Without fighting back, Crowder chased you again. While entangled, you gave his waist a hard pinch. While he was reeling in pain, you sprinted beyond the arc. You caught and drained a 3. Crowder clutched his waist, cursing furiously in his head. He caught up to you and hissed, "You're dead, you Easterner." This subtle physical battle was so localized that even the other players didn't notice a thing, let alone the referees. Crowder was fuming. He meant to pinch you. To provoke a reaction, he wanted you to snap, hoping you would. Throw a punch or curse and get a technical. Then you'd be ejected. But you didn't get angry. You just pinched him back. It hurt him like hell, and you kept hitting 3s. He was losing his cool. He watched you head back, hatching a new plan. He wanted to teach you a lesson. To make you back off, since you're so stubborn, hell show, no mercy. On the Lakers' next attack, as you rose for a jumper, Crowder knew he couldn't block it, yet he lunged at you anyway. Right hand high, masking his intent to block, he slammed his hand into your face. The force was so violent that it swatted you out of the air, sending you crashing down. Crowder finally vented his anger. Before he could celebrate, agonizing pain shot from his groin. In that instant, the whole world went dark. Everything else in his world simply vanished. Only the pain remained, drilling into his bones, piercing through his soul. You knew Crowder's habits. When he can't stop someone, he gets more physical, even resorting to flagrants. So you were prepared. As he swatted you down, your upper body fell back, but your foot kicked his groin. Was it dirty? Extremely dirty. But when they leave basketball behind, should you stay polite and smile at them, like a true gentleman? For players like this, at most, the ref will eject them and issue a fine, but they'll do it again. One move like that can end a career? Why show him any mercy? Give him what he gave, overwhelmed by the pain. Crowder clutched himself and collapsed, rolling on the floor in agony. Since you were ready, the fall looked worse than it was. When you landed, your left hand protected you. It only hurt a little, but you didn't get up. Crowder started it, and he was still down. You're the victim. If you got up now, the ref might favor him. Time to play best actor. With that thought, you clutched your waist, grimacing in mock pain. Pounding the floor with one hand, teammates rushed over. Asking about your injury, you didn't answer. Acting too hurt to speak, the crowd went silent. Dudley tried to charge in, ready to be the enforcer, but an assistant coach held him. Coming off the bench is a tech. Caruso wanted to step up to, but when he saw Crowder rolling on the floor, he was confused. Is he faking? Hayes the one who hit you. Why is he the one in pain? The Jumbotron gave the answer. The replay showed everything. Crowder went straight for the face. The crowd erupted in fury. Damn, Hayes a hitman. Should he even be playing? Throw him in jail. He was headhunting. Get him out of the game. But when the crowd saw your foot hit his crotch, they all gasped in unison. The men in the audience felt the pain on his behalf. Then they cheered. Nice shot. If I were Wong, I'd have done the same. Crowder got what he deserved. Teammates from both sides checked on their players. Wong, where does it hurt? Your pain seemed to ease. Clutching your waist, you said? My waist, I think. I'm not sure. Everything just hurts. They asked a few more things, then asked, can you stand? You glanced at Crowder. Had been helped up and was sitting on the bench. Help me up. I think I can make it. Your teammates helped you up. You moved slowly under supervision. Gradually, the pain subsided. The refs reviewed the replay. First, it was clear. That Crowder's foul was flagrant. He went for the head. Now they were looking at your kick to his groin. Judging if it was intentional, they didn't look for long. The ruling came quickly. Flagrant 1 on Crowder, plus a technical foul. Wong was fouled on a 3 shots plus the tech. Possession to the Lakers, 4 shots and the ball. The Suns players and staff heard the call and threw their hands up. How can this be? Our player is hurt too. That kick was intentional, especially Chris Paul, looking like they want to eat the ref alive. Chasing the referee to complain, pointing at you and telling the ref, didn't you see that move? Hayes playing too dirty. A guy like that shouldn't stay on the court. But instead of listening to their complaints, the ref gave them a warning instead. If they complained again, it would be a team technical. Meanwhile, in the replay room, famous NBA ref, Javi explained the footage. Wong was originally taking a fadeaway jumper. One leg naturally extends forward when fading away. When Crowder lunged and swiped Wong to the floor, that extended right leg lifted a bit higher. This was simply to maintain balance, an instinctive physical reaction. So, while he objectively hurt Crowder, there was no subjective intent. Moreover, it was Crowder who violated Wong's cylinder. Though Wong extended his leg, it was still within his own cylinder. Therefore, we rule no foul on Wong. You sat on the bench for a moment. Teammates suggested going to the locker room, but you just shrugged and said, thanks, but no need. I feel much better now. I'm in great shape. The team doctor went silent. Hearing this, your teammates all understood the situation, especially James. Hayes flopped before, so he knew exactly what was going on. A knowing smile appeared on his face. Patting your shoulder? Good job, bro. Competitive sports are like this. It's all about the results. As long as you don't cross the line to fight for a victory, you can do whatever it takes. Everyone knows. Miller fouled Jordan on that game winner. But can you change the result? The other teammates were all relieved now. As long as no one was injured, after catching your breath, you stepped up to the free throw line. You took 4 free throws. Your free throw percentage is 88 Fontaram, all for free throws hit, nothing but net. Ovios. Then the Lakers continued play. Anfos. You came off a screen to catch the ball. A recovered Crowder chased you down again. You held the ball in both hands, looking Crowder in the eye with a faint, subtle smile. Seeing that look in your eyes, Crowder knew that smile meant trouble. His heart tightened. A chill rose from his lower body. That piercing pain seemed to hit him again. Though he still tried to block you, he clearly didn't lunge as close. It was more like a token effort. There was no pressure on you. Swish. The ball sailed over Crowder. All net. The 4 free throws, plus this 3. A 7-point possession. The lead instantly widened to 33 points. The Suns had to call another timeout. Only 2 minutes left in the third quarter. During the timeout, Paul clapped to rally the Suns. He urged Booker, Devin, step up. You will be this team's sole leader, so you have to step up. But the Suns' momentum was gone, especially when Crowder returned. His fierce defense had vanished. He looked hesitant on defense, especially when guarding you. He didn't dare get too close. Seems that kick left a psychological scar. VW, the Suns were finished. The Lakers secured the win smoothly. James, 23. PTS 11, Reb 9 asked. Another octa-triggering near. He is the team's cornerstone, win or lose. The Lakers rely on his baseline stats, but the MVP tonight was definitely you. 28 points off the bench in 26 minutes. A double-double with 10 blocks. Shooting 7 of 10 from 3. 5 for 5 from the line, and 1 for 1 on 2 points. His efficiency was terrifying, especially from beyond the arc. You continue to prove that you're a reliable sniper. After the game, Paul didn't shake hands with the Lakers. He headed straight for the tunnel. He didn't even talk to his bro, James. It's understandable. Hayes, an incredibly competitive player. Losing by 30 points, he was in no mood for handshakes. You were the one interviewed again. Your answers remained airtight. After showering, James invited you to the press conference. You didn't decline. Attending a post-game presser is something few players would refuse. Meanwhile, at the press conference venue, the Suns conference was already underway. Paul Cook and Crowder attended. They answered standard questions. Then a reporter turned to Crowder. Crowder, during the game, you and Wong both fell to the floor. You hit his face, and he kicked your hip. The ref called a flagrant 1 on you. Any thoughts on that? Crowder shook his head. Undoubtedly. I was going for the ball. I accidentally hit his face, but his move was clearly intentional. He plays dirty. He should have been ejected. He had recovered by now, so he started talking trash again, making wild claims, the reporter continued. But we saw on the screen, the ball was well above your head. Your first instinct wasn't the ball, but to swipe directly at his face? Many say it was intentional. How do you explain that? Crowder got a bit angry, glaring at the reporter. You're not me. How do you know what I was thinking? That Eastern guy was clearly intentional. Why don't you ask him? The reporter shook his head. By your logic, you're not him either. How do you know he was intentional? Crowder was left speechless. I refuse to answer that, he snorted. He got up and stormed out. Storming out mid-press conference is seen as disrespectful in the NBA. It leads to a fine. But Crowder didn't care anymore. Shortly after they left, James and you entered the room. Cameras started flashing like crazy. You'd done pressers before, but never with this much media frenzy. This is the exposure of a Laker. The Lakers are a legendary franchise. In a major market like Los Angeles, the attention they receive is far beyond small market teams. Perform well here, and you'll never lack exposure. Once you and James were seated, the reporters began their questions. One asked James, LeBron, Wong was efficient again tonight. It seems he could be a key sidekick for you. What are your thoughts? James glanced at you beside him. He's a great teammate. He smiled. With him on the floor, my pressure is relieved. I look forward to his next game. The reporter asked James more questions, but they were mostly about you. After the 5th question, regarding you, James joked, I feel a bit redundant here. If you want to ask about Wong, why not ask him directly? Hayes, right here. These reporters were smart. You've had 3 good games, but little name recognition and scoring under 30 in all 3. There wasn't much to hype yet. Reporting on you alone wouldn't create much buzz, so they had to interview James first. To get his evaluation of you, then they could use catchy headlines. James best helper, LeBron's praise, LBJ full of praise for him. This way, the topic becomes much hotter, and readers are much more interested. Finally, they were done with James. A reporter asked, you, Wong, you scored 28 tonight. With a double-double in blocks, TEXA guard getting 10 blocks is quite rare. What's your secret? The secret is to eat less. You smiled. The less you eat, the lighter you are, the higher you jump. Naturally, it's easier to get blocks. It was obviously a joke, drawing laughter from the room. Then a portly reporter adjusted his glasses, a hint of mischief in his eyes. Wong, you've nearly scored 30. For 3 straight games? You're a representative of Chinese players. How do you view that? You glanced at him and said calmly, I view it sitting down. The reporters were stunned, then erupted into laughter again. You continued, actually, calling me a representative of Chinese players is not quite right. I am Chinese, and I love my country deeply, but I am just myself. I can't arrogantly say I represent anyone. Of course, I don't believe anyone can represent us. One shouldn't impose their will on others. The fat reporter looked slightly disappointed. He nodded. Thank you for your answer. Actually, he was setting a trap for you. Their country prizes independence and freedom, at least on the surface. So he just threw out the bait? If you dared say you represent China, he would have made a huge deal out of it. PRESS, saying this Eastern nation isn't free, press, and is too dictatorial, but you didn't fall for it. At this moment, a female reporter who hadn't asked much raised her hand. She was a blonde. Even in professional attire, her great physique was evident. She had a smile on her face. As refreshing as a spring breeze, Wong. The NBA is the world's top basketball league, and you are the only Chinese player in the NBA? My question is, with 1.4 billion people in China, can't you even find 5 who can play basketball? Once she said this, the atmosphere instantly changed. Everyone fell silent. This question was different from the fat reporters. He dug a hidden pit for you to fall into, but this beautiful reporter posed such a sharp question directly. It was clearly unfriendly. Of course, many other reporters were secretly excited. They were waiting to see you fail. James frowned, turned to look at Wong, and shook his head. He knew you were already angry. A question like this would make anyone lose their temper. But right now, you can't make a bad move. If you do, these reporters will blow it out of proportion. It would be very bad for your future career. So he urged you with his eyes to endure it. But would you endure it? Of course not. If this was just about you, maybe you could let it slide. But when it involves your country, you won't tolerate it for a second. Your eyes blazed as you looked at the reporter, asking, "May I ask where you are from?" She still wore that same smile. As refreshing as a spring breeze, she replied, American porite. Lee Engron replied with 300 million Americans. Can't you find one who can play ping pong? As soon as he said that, the room fell silent. The smile on her face vanished instantly. Most of the reporters there were Americans. They were waiting to mock you, but now they felt personally attacked. You stared intently at the reporter, waiting for her answer. After a long pause, she couldn't say a word. True, domestic basketball isn't up to NBA level, but if someone with ill intent tries to use that to mock China, you won't stand for it? It's like students at a school. They can complain about their alma mater. Saying this and that is wrong, but if an outsider dares to badmouth it, it'll definitely have a problem with you. The room remained quiet. You paused for a moment and continued. Everyone has their own strengths. Every country has sports they excel at. America's basketball level is the highest, but our country's ping pong is essentially a cheat code. We shouldn't use our own strengths to mock the efforts of others, nor should we use our best sports to belittle other countries. If you do that, then it's a matter of your own character and integrity. With just a few words, you shifted the issue from a national level back to a personal one. This move was incredibly sharp. The reporter was called out in public. On her character and integrity, she had no way to defend herself. She felt all the eyes around her, stabbing at her like needles. A moment later, a reporter suddenly started clapping. Half of the reporters followed suit. Your words earned applause from many there, but many American reporters were still unconvinced. They were all eager to jump in, especially next to that beautiful reporter, a man in a well-tailored suit. A hint of cunning flashed in his eyes. He then raised his hand high. Asking Wang, it said, that the people in your country think everything there is the best? You saw this suited reporter meant trouble, but you didn't flinch at all? Retorting, shouldn't we? It shows how much we love our country. Seeing you take the bait, a triumphant, devious smile appeared on his face. He continued, if everything is so good there, then why aren't you playing in the CBA? Why come to the NBA? This was clearly meant to slap your face. The other reporters fell silent once more. This question was just as sharp, and just as malicious. Any other player might have stormed out on the spot. And earlier, the beautiful reporter you silenced looked up again, right? Why didn't she think of that question? If she had thought of that earlier, she wouldn't have been so humiliated. James looked at you with a bit of concern, but he saw no anger on your face. Instead, there was a touch of boldness. Your eyes were full of fire. Then you said something that even James had never said. You looked at the reporter in the suit, glanced at the woman beside him, and finally scanned all 50 reporters in the room. With a firm tone, you said word by word, I'm here to conquer the NBA. Silence. Absolute silence. After you said those words, there was a dead hush. Such wild talk. It was almost laughable. A player on a short-term contract, after playing 3 good games, claiming hell, conquer the NBA. Isn't that hilarious? Even James, Kobe, or even the GOAT Michael Jordan had never spoken such arrogant words, yet no one in the room laughed. Not a single person made a sound, because your gaze was so steady, and your voice was so resolute. You didn't seem to be joking at all, and in fact, you really did come to the NBA for that purpose. After speaking, you scanned the reporters again. Under your gaze, not one of them dared to meet your eyes. They all instinctively looked down. You continued, since there are no more questions, today's press conference is over. Then you stood up and walked out proudly. James snapped out of it, looked at the reporters, and seemed like he wanted to say something. But in the end, his lips just twitched. He said nothing, and followed you out. When they reached the hallway, James called out to you. You turned back and asked, what? James wanted to say you'd caused trouble. He wanted to tell you that what you just said would cause a huge stir in the NBA world and draw cold stares from many legends. But in the end, he just patted your back. He said, Wang, the words are out there now. You'll have to prove them with action. You nodded heavily. By the next morning, the entire NBA world was in an uproar. Celtics legend Paul Pierce tweeted directly, this Chinese guy is talking trash. Bulls legend Scottie Pippen tweeted, even the GOAT never said that. Hayes too arrogant. Hayes, a piece of S. Suns legend Berkeley tweeted, he thinks hell conquer. If he scores 30 in a single game, he'll kiss a fish's ass again. Famous reporter Stephen A. Smith spoke on his show, this kid clearly doesn't know what the NBA is. Of course we shouldn't blame him too much. Who'd take a loudmouth 3-year-old seriously? However, the fans weren't so polite. They were cursing all over the internet. At the same time, your words reached the other side of the ocean. 10-cent NBA commentators posted on Weibo Wang Yi really shouldn't have said that. It's good to have ambition, but you shouldn't say it in public, especially after only playing 3 good games in 2 years. Saying this puts massive public pressure entirely on his shoulders. It's very bad for his development. Wang Yi is still too young. He might pay the price for his youth. Even your fans felt you overstepped. I watched Wang Yi's press conference. Everything before that was great. He shut that female reporter down, which definitely deserved praise, but the later part was way too arrogant. Is this really a good idea? Vamonis, I don't like arrogant people. Unfollowing our culture values humility and being quick to act, but slow to speak. Do more, talk less. Wang Yi completely violated our traditions. When the haters saw the tide turning, they all jumped out. Impressive. He said what the GOAT wouldn't. Just watch him. How can he survive in the NBA after this? Haha. I bet in every upcoming game, Hayes going to be a target. The show is about to begin. Now, the whole world seemed to be against you. You lay on your bed in the garage, scrolling through the mockery and insults. You just gave a soft chuckle. Your 2 years of wandering the NBA. Your mental resilience is now... This mockery and abuse don't bother you at all? Saying those things back then was indeed a bit impulsive. With so many reporters present, half of them, because in Chinese, harbored ill will toward me. Firing back at them impulsively wasn't wrong. Besides, it wasn't arrogance. You feel you're fully qualified to say that? 9 Funterium of players are hardworking. You've studied almost every player's style, their habits and their temperaments. More importantly, you have a mysterious system. Any NBA player with real grit has, deep down, the desire to conquer the NBA. Did Kobe not have it? Did LeBron not have it? Did young Chris Paul not? They all did. They just kept it inside. They didn't say it aloud. They knew the consequences of such words. But you just said what others wouldn't. After checking your phone, you locked the screen and headed to the gym. You're well acquainted with the guard. He looked at you, puzzled. Wong, the next game is away. We fly to DC at noon, so there's no morning practice. Why aren't you resting at home? Why did you come in? Couldn't sleep, so I came early. I can rest on the plane anyway. The guard nodded and opened the gates for you. Then he added, Wong, those words of yours last night will cause you a lot of trouble. Are you ready for it? You gave an okay sign, said, just watch me, and went in to practice. Meanwhile, the system's voice rang again. Training task, block training, MA reps, reward, block rate up to 51 Fonterum. Without a moment's hesitation, you warmed up and started. At the same time, across the ocean, you were trending for the wrong reasons. Number 5 on the trending list, Wang Yi's arrogance shames our nation. Clicking the link, half the comments were skeptical. The other half were pure vitriol. Hayes thrown, our ancestors' humility, completely out the window. I said head shame us in the NBA. What a complete idiot. Yushuo Sports posted a new video. In the clip, Su Jingyu sipped water. How can he compare? Hayes been in the NBA for 2 years. He hasn't made a name for himself. 3 good games and now, Hayes already getting cocky. Has he forgotten his last 2 years? He couldn't even make the rotation. And now Hayes talking big? Conquer the NBA? If Hayes so great, conquer the Wizards first. Conquer Butler first. Don't talk trash without the skills. It's irresponsible to yourself. And to all Chinese fans, 8:48 a.m. US time. Inside the gym, you finished the final block? After lunch, the team boarded for Washington. On the plane, some players avoided you because you're Asian. They were already biased. After your recent comments, their prejudice only grew. You didn't care. Over the past 2 years, you've seen plenty of cold stares. In that case, if to conquer the NBA, it'll start by winning over the teammates beside me. You quietly clenched your fist. During the flight, LeBron was listening to music. Others were on their phones or reading books. You were on your laptop, studying Wizards game film. Fans only see the performance, but in reality, to be a great player, you must do so much more. You know every player's style, but before the tip, you still study the footage. You need to know if they've added new moves. Do they have new tactics? The team reached the hotel. After a 6-hour flight and a 30-minute drive, the players were exhausted. The coach canceled practice, giving everyone free time. The Wizards play at Verizon Center. It's right in Chinatown. You've been training non-stop. You've rarely visited Chinatown. Now's your chance for a stroll. Most importantly, you'll hear your native tongue. In a foreign land, it's all English every day. Stepping into Chinatown, hearing Mandarin, felt like home. In Chinatown, some fans recognized you. They lined up for photos. They seemed more reserved. They too are far from home. Valuing the bond of kinship. The following afternoon, 2 hours before tip, both teams held a presser. At the conference, a reporter asked Westbrook, that Asian Lakers player, says Hayes here to conquer the NBA. Your thoughts? Brody scratched his head. He said what I never dared to. Eager to see it, the reporters were stunned. They didn't expect Westbrook's attitude to be so supportive. The reporter's mind raced. He turned to His eyes lit up. Mr. Hachimura, he asked, about that Asian player's words, what do you think? Hakimura laughed out loud. Pure arrogance, he said. Hayes completely delusional. I'll put him in his place and teach him respect. Respect for the fans and respect for the game. These words belittled you and made him look noble. He certainly knew how to play the media. The reporter set a trap. Will you crush him on court? Brody glanced at Hakimura, warning him it was a trap. Hakimura knew, too, but he didn't care. He looked at the press. Yes, I'm going to crush him. On both ends of the floor, I'll give him a lesson. On respecting his seniors, reporters buzzed. The room grew electric. Mr. Hachimura, could you elaborate? How will you crush him? Mr. Hachimura. His words sparked outrage. If you put him in his place, well, I'll be grateful. Mr. Hachimura, we're counting on you. In the visitors' locker room, the Lakers saw the news. They all looked at you. You were still on your tablet? Watching game film? To all of it. You seemed deaf. Of course you heard. You just didn't show it. But you were determined. Tonight, well, see who crushes whom. Coach kept you from the press. Soon, it was warm-up time. LeBron walked to the tunnel. You ready, brother? He asked. You nodded firmly. In the tunnel, you looked at the massive arena of Round 1 spectators. Conquer the NBA. Starts right here. You looked at the stands. In the crowd, some fans held signs. Wang Yi. They read, "Let's go. We support Yi." They were all Chinese fans. It warmed your heart. But they were the minority. Most of the fans wanted to see you fail. Warm-ups ended. The game began. You still weren't starting, but for the Wizards, Hachimura was a starter. He walked past you, eyes full of provocation. Your eyes burned with fire. 5 minutes in, the Lakers scored inside. The Wizards missed their 3 south. But Hachimura was hot. 2 jumpers and a dunk. With 2 minutes left in the first, the score was 2,726. Lakers led by 1. Coach Vogel subbed out LeBron. He said to you, "Wang, get in." You glanced at the score, feeling somewhat relieved. This was the first time checking in. With the Lakers leading the opponent, as usual, the moment you stepped onto the hardwood, a system prompt rang. Arena check-in successful. Obtained unstoppable mid-range shot experience card. They say keep your best tools for the right moment. You planned to wait until the offense stalled. Then you would use this experience card. This would surely achieve a miraculous effect. Now, LeBron was heading to the bench. Wizards star Bradley Beal also sat to rest. Westbrook and Hachimura remained on the court. As you passed by he said something in Japanese. Naturally, you didn't understand him. You replied in Chinese. Can you speak a human language? Hachimura didn't understand you either. He stared into your eyes. He said menacingly in English, "Get ready to be destroyed by the storm." You just shook your head slightly. With a light chuckle, this kid's watched too much battle anime. Lakers possession, Caruso brought the ball up. He crossed half court. You kept running through screens. Found an opening to get the ball on the wing. Without any hesitation, you shot the 3. Clang. Your first missed shot. Heading back on defense, Hachimura caught a pass from Westbrook. He finished with a powerful dunk. He roared at the sky after landing. Veins were bulging on his neck. Second possession, you got open again. Another 3-point attempt. Clang. Another brick from downtown. You shook your hand out. Seems your touch is cold today. Despite a 45 fun TRM 3-point average, everyone has an off night sometimes. Just like Stephen Curry. With over 40 fun TRM career shooting, often playing at an unstoppable level. But sometimes shooting 2 for 10, or even 3 for 18. Getting outplayed instead? You've studied shooters like Curry long ago. You know when your shot is cold. For a shooter, the most important thing is to stay decisive, even if you miss the first 100 shots. If there is an opening, you must take the 101st shot with confidence. If a shooter hesitates, then he has already lost. Back on the other end, Wizards on the attack. Hachimura posted you up. Due to his height advantage, he scored icily with a hook shot. Turning around, Hachimura raised his arms toward you, flexing his muscles. The arena DJ drew out the announcement. He shouted, 2 points, Rui Ha. You sneered inwardly at the sight. Your shot might be off, but Hayes being too arrogant. Normally, you might find another way. To avoid a direct matchup with him, but against Rui Hach, you refused to back down. You wanted to take him hidden, end of the first quarter. Because your touch was cold. You went 0 for 3 after LeBron sat. The team lacked an offensive floor general. The Lakers' offense was stagnant. On the flip side, Hachimura was in great form. 4-4-4 with 8 points in the first quarter, the Lakers were down by 5. On the 10-cent NBA stream, the comments were full of insults. Lakers are garbage. Wang Yi is garbage. It's one thing to be taught a lesson by others, but losing to a Japanese kid is embarrassing. Wang Yi, get lost. Commentator Duan Ran said, Wang Yi's touch is off today. Let's see if he can help the team elsewhere. Ju, you were a 3-point specialist. How should Wang Yi break this slump? Ju Fengyu replied, every shooter has off nights. The important thing is to stay focused. Don't force your shots. But if there's a good look, don't hesitate. Take the shot decisively. When the threes aren't falling, try defense or passing. Help the team with rebounds. During the break, Coach Vogel looked at you. He asked, how are you doing? You nodded. I'm fine. Vogel saw the confidence in your eyes. He felt relieved. He feared those misses shook your confidence. Now it seemed his worry was unnecessary. He said to you, you're starting the second quarter? Keep playing your usual game. If you get an opening for a 3, take the shot. Shoot it decisively. Also, step up your defense. This arrangement was clearly an endorsement. You were now in the rotation. For a player who rarely got minutes, they would surely agree with joy, but you unexpectedly shook your head. Coach, match my minutes with Hachimura's. Vogel glanced at Hachimura across the court. He advised Wang. His press conference comments were excessive, but we must focus on the big picture. Hayes, a power forward. You're a guard. You won't even match up on court. You said solemnly, coach. Please trust me. You will be rewarded. If I can't shut him down, you can pull me out anytime. Vogel pondered for a moment. Rui is becoming more vital for the Wizards. If he gets hot, well, have to double team him. That makes it easier for Russ and Bell. The priority is to shut him down first. Since you are so persistent, maybe you have a plan. Vogel was an open-minded coach. In the 2020 championship season, Rondo often took the clipboard to draw up plays for the players, so he chose to let you try? And so, in the second, until Hachimura checked in, you didn't play either. 4 minutes into the second quarter, Hachimura stepped onto the court. You also subbed back in. The Lakers still trailed by 5. You used a screen to find space. Another decisive three-point attempt, swish. Your first 3 of the game. Hachimura's expression darkened slightly. Seeing this, Vogel pumped his fist. For the Lakers in this game, the threes had to start falling. LeBron isn't as young as he used to be. Flying through the air, and doing it all, he can't carry the burden like before. Like a human battering ram, charging inside every play. Lakers' three-pointers are the team's lifeline. You beat your chest as you retreated. It's easier now. The threes are falling. You were just thinking, if that shot had missed, you'd use the mid-range card. On the other end, Wizards on the attack. You didn't guard their back. Instead, you chased The Wizards' backup PG saw this. After Hachimura got into position, he passed the ball straight to him. Hachimura is 206 centimeters. You are 192 centimeters. A full 14 centimeters difference. A clear mismatch. Commentator Duan Ran was confused. What is this? Wang Yi is initiating the defense on Hachimura. Zhu Fang Yu said, this mindset is actually understandable. I was the same when I played. I'd get fired up against players from that country. But you must consider the situation. Don't just rush in blindly. Hachimura has solid fundamentals. His post-up game is good too. Guarding up might not be wise. The 20,000 fans at Verizon Center saw you matched against Hachimura. They chanted, crush him. Crush him. Local announcers said he was too arrogant. Claiming Hayes here to conquer the NBA, Hachimura needs to teach him a lesson. The other announcer nodded. Guys who talk big usually end up badly. Hachimura must destroy him. Show him what the NBA is about. Make him realize how lowly he is. How insignificant. Hachimura thought the same. Seeing you guard him, a contemptuous smirk appeared on his face. He said, kid, pay attention. Class is in session. He didn't use any fakes. Facing you, 14 centimeters shorter than him, he went straight for a mid-range jumper. You had already studied him. Many times before, you knew his habits well. Before his pull-up jumper, he always glanced at the rim. It was a tiny motion. His head didn't even move, just a flick of the eyes. Almost no one noticed this trait. But by rewatching the tapes, reviewing player profiles over and over, you even watched Hachimura's early game footage from and his training videos multiple times. That's how you found Hachimura's subconscious habit. Even Hachimura himself doesn't know. He has such a tell. Right before Hachimura's pull-up, you keenly caught this movement, jumped immediately, and reached out with your left hand. By then, Hachimura had just raised the ball, preparing to jump. With a sharp smack, both he and the ball were swatted out of the air. Your move was perfectly clean. Without any body contact, Hachimura slammed onto the ground. Seeing this, the Wizards' reserve point guard rushed over to grab the ball. You dove and pulled it in, then flicked it toward the front. Harrell sprinted ahead, chased down the ball, picked it up, and delivered a powerful two-handed dunk. The crowd was left stunned. Their eyes shifted from Harrell quickly back to Hachimura, and you, this arrogant guy from the East, actually managed to block Hachimura, who's over 10 centimeters taller. It was truly hard to believe. Even the commentators were in disbelief. What happened to Hachimura? Maybe it was an accident. We believe in Hachimura's ability. That was definitely a fluke. Yeah, one mistake is nothing. Next up, Hachimura will surely destroy this Asian player. By now, the point gap had been closed. Hachimura climbed up from the floor, feeling a bit dazed. How did this guy block him? It should be impossible. Returning to the play, the Wizards attacked again. You were still primary on Hachimura. Hachimura didn't go for a pull-up this time. After catching the ball, he turned around. To post you up, he tried to overpower you with his body. Naturally, you couldn't hold him back. The weight difference was too much. Hachimura bumped you, and you retreated a step. After 3 bumps, he was already near the hoop. He had reached his favorite scoring spot. He could have easily turned and shot, but against this Chinese player, he didn't just want to score. He wanted a violent dunk. So, he leaned into you once more. However, this time, when he exerted his power, there was nothing to lean on. He felt the space behind him go empty, instantly losing his balance. His feet slipped, and he sat straight down on the floor. The ball slipped from his hands and rolled away. Knowing you couldn't match Hachimura physically, you pulled the chair on him. The Lakers scored again on the fast break. The fans watched in amazement. The commentators also went a bit quiet. Hachimura's form seemed a bit off. Is he playing with an injury? Back on the other end, the Wizards attacked again. The Wizards' point guard, seeing Hachimura fail twice, didn't intend to give him the ball. But Hachimura pinned you behind him. demanding the ball firmly. The reserve guard had no choice but to pass to Hakimura again. The fans were no longer shouting to crush him. Instead, their eyes were fixed on him. Hakimura didn't drive inside after catching it. He took one dribble with his back to you, then turned for a fadeaway jumper. But you reacted lightning fast. As he completed most of the turn and was about to gather the ball, you suddenly reached around his side and swiped hard at the ball. Smack! The ball was stripped, hit Hakimura's foot, and rolled out of bounds. The referee signaled Lakers ball. The crowd erupted in a collective gasp. My God, this guy's defense? He stopped Hakimura 3 times in a row. The commentators were stunned. This Asian player seems stronger than we thought, especially his defense. Hopefully Hakimura won't lose heart. Don't let these 3 plays get to you. Against this guy, he can just shoot over him. To keep the ball out of reach, on the next possession, the ball didn't go to Hakimura. Bell took the shot instead, but his 3-pointer missed. Hakimura grabbed the rebound for a dunk, igniting the crowd. However, before he could jump, you suddenly flew in from the front and tipped the ball. His dunk missed completely. Hakimura leaped high again to secure the offensive rebound, then went up for a second shot. You jumped early again, your fingertips touching the ball. Altering its flight path, the ball bounced off the rim again. Hakimura grabbed the rebound once more. After faking out 2 Lakers defenders, he prepared to shoot, but as he raised the ball, before he could release it, a loud smack echoed. The sound stung the entire arena. The ball was swatted far out of bounds. Hakimura was stunned. He turned to see you staring at him, your gaze full of mockery, as if saying, "Come on then." You shut down Hachimura for 2 minutes. You stopped him 4 times in 5 possessions, ending with 3 consecutive blocks. Whenever Hachimura touched the ball, the crowd cheered loudly. But when you blocked him, there were only gasps of shock. The commentators also cried out, "Oh my God, how did he do that? He just blocked Hachimura 3 times, and Hakimura is half a head taller. Unbelievable. Hakimura needs to wake up. Don't let these blocks break your spirit." The commentators' tone had shifted. At first, they were sure he'd crush you. Then they said he was having an off day, and now, they just hoped your blocks wouldn't ruin his mindset. The NBA livestream was full of hate before, but after those 3 blocks, a third of the audience changed their tune. 3 blocks in a row on that was hardcore. Awesome. Our guy talks less and hits harder. Just for those 3 blocks, and the guy he just dominated. He'll forgive your previous arrogance. You completely locked him down. Of course, many people still disliked you. Haters will always find something to hate. But even the most stubborn haters were softening their stance. Those were decent plays. Just don't be so arrogant. Play more, talk less. Keep playing like this and you have a future. The atmosphere in the arena was heavy. Because of those 3 blocks, on the contrary, the Chinese fans were getting incredibly excited. Let's go, Yi. Well, always support you. Their excitement contrasted sharply with the Wizards fans. Hachimura looked at your confident face and cursed under his breath, "Baka, I will definitely destroy you," due to a dead ball. The Lakers subbed LeBron back in. Vogel looked at LeBron and you on the court with great anticipation, pairing you with LeBron. This might actually work. As the second quarter neared its end, Westbrook also checked in. After the inbound, he didn't pass to although Hakimura needed encouragement. He had failed 5 straight attacks and been blocked 4 times. The coach was already doing him a favor by not subbing him. They couldn't let him be the main option again. Westbrook drove hard to the rim, but seeing the paint well, he kicked the ball to Bell in the left corner. Bell passed it again. After a few passes, the ball found its way back to Hakimura was near the free throw line. Facing an opponent much shorter than him, he could have gone for a peek, but those 4 blocks had left a mental scar. He didn't dare to shoot immediately. Instead, he trusted his footwork and his post-up game. He made 2 moves with his back to you, then finally turned for a jumper. This time you couldn't reach the block. Hakimura watched the ball clear your fingertips and fly toward the rim. He let out a sigh of relief. But at that exact moment, with a sharp smack, the ball was swatted away again. A burly figure flew in from Hakimura's side. It was LeBron James who had rotated over to provide help side defense. You went over to high-five LeBron. Both of you shared a knowing smile. Hakimura looked like he was about to cry. "I only shoot a dozen times a game, and you guys just stopped me 5 times in a row. Damn it. How long is this going to last? This is pure bullying." Westbrook patted Hakimura's shoulder to comfort him, then went to inbound the ball. This time, as the ball rotated, the ball reaches Hakimura in an open spot. He didn't shoot immediately, because after those last few plays, Hayes been left with a severe psychological trauma. He felt that whenever he went for a shot, a shadow would surely fly by and swat the ball away. So he instinctively glanced to the side. In that split second of hesitation, you were already in front of him, the commentator said. Nice. Hakimura faces Lakers. No one again. Now is the time to regain his confidence. Take him, Hakimura. Blow past him. Go. Hakimura seemed to hear the commentary. He glared at you intensely. Roaring in his mind, he then used a pump fake and got past you. He was now only a meter from the rim, ready to dunk at any time, but he still instinctively looked back. Seeing you were indeed beaten, he finally intended to dunk, but because he looked back, Harrell had already reached the rim. Raising his hands high, blocking the path to the basket, Hakimura froze for a moment. He had to fake twice more. He got past Harrell, but you had already rotated back. The moment Hakimura saw you, he felt uneasy again. Finally, just a meter from the rim, facing you who are much shorter, he made a choice that baffled everyone. He actually passed the ball out. Westbrook saw the clock winding down and had to fire a rushed three. Wizards clank, the three misses. The Lakers seize the chance and push the fast break. This time, you capitalize on the break. Laying it in with your left hand, you add another 2 points. The home crowd falls even more silent. Both commentators are stunned. What is wrong with Hakimura? His state of mind is off. Hayes afraid to shoot at an open rim. He won't dunk even when he can. What on earth happened to him? In the Penguin NBA stream, Dwanran is shocked. What's with Hakimura? Afraid to shoot at an open basket? Missing dunks he should clearly make. Director Ju, give us your take. Ju Fanju, a former pro himself, barely needed to think. He smiled and replied, hesitation. Hayes playing with hesitation. And why is he hesitating? The reason is simple. His confidence is gone. Wang Yi blocked him 5 times. Wait, LeBron blocked 4 and Wang 5. He must be traumatized. Every time he goes up, he feels someone's coming to get him. It's the case of once bitten, twice shy. For a professional player, confidence is everything. It's hard to build it up. It takes years of training and constant performance to build, but it can be shattered in an instant. Ju Fangu paused for a moment, then continued. Regarding shattered confidence, the classic is the mailman's weekend. The mailman doesn't work Sundays. In one finals game between Jazz and Bulls, it happened to be a Sunday. Malone was scoring late in the game, with 7.5 seconds left. At 5 seconds, the game was tied at 82. Malone had 2 free throws. Making them could have iced the game. But as he stepped up, Pippen whispered in his ear, "The mailman doesn't work on Sundays." That phrase messed with Malone. He missed both free throws, and Jordan hit the game winner. They lost the championship because of it. In that single game, his confidence was crushed. From then on, in every clutch moment, his free throws were off, because every time he stepped up, Pippen's words would echo in his mind. The mailman doesn't work on Sundays. Hakimura is heading the same way. For the next 2 minutes until halftime, Hakimura didn't score another point. He actually had 2 opportunities, but he looked hesitant each time. In the NBA, windows close instantly. His hesitation cost him his shot, forcing him to pass it out because of his indecision. The ball movement stalled. The Wizards' offense became stagnant. By the end of the first half, the Lakers led by 11. With your shot feeling off, you were 2 of 5 with only 5 points. During halftime, the Lakers' locker room was relaxed. LeBron slapped your back and said, "Wong, good job. Keep it up in the second half," Caruso said while pulling his sneakers. 30 said, "Well, that Hakimura guy was so arrogant at the press conference, Wong really gave him an answer." Other players nodded in congratulation. "Retaping your ankles? You joked? This is just the beginning." It sounded like a joke, but only you knew. You meant every word. Breaking an opponent's confidence is far from enough. You want to drive them to despair? 2. Never dare act arrogant before you, and to walk away whenever they see you. You remembered a famous quote from a certain fat man, "Just don't let them live." Meanwhile, in the home locker room, the atmosphere was somber. Hakimura sat with his head down, silent and brooding. Bell kept clapping to motivate the team. They aren't scary. LeBron isn't that king anymore. Hazel, aside from him, the Lakers have no one decent. We just need to contain LeBron. Make him pass the ball, and the game is half won. Westbrook reminded them that no one is playing well too. We have to watch out for him. Bell shook his head. Hayes just had 3 lucky games. His threes aren't as sharp today. I noticed. He only had 5 points in the first half. Even if he gets 10 more in the second, as long as the others don't heat up, we can easily beat the Lakers. Westbrook wanted to argue, but ultimately kept quiet. He turned and gripped Hakimura's shoulder. In the second half, show some aggression. Bring back that 30-point momentum. You have to remember, Hayes just a pathetic short contract player, and you're a 30-point star. Hayes, just a miserable worm next to you. Hakimura nodded instinctively. His dull eyes seemed to brighten slightly. The third quarter begins. The Wizards' first play goes to Hakimura. Through a pick, he finally finds an open look. He doesn't hesitate this time. Raising the ball high, Hayes already in the air, about to release, but at that exact moment, you slipped past the Wizards' screen and lunged toward him. Hakimura's heart sank. A dark cloud seemed to loom over him. In a panic, he didn't dare shoot. He turned to find an open man, but in his field of vision, not a single teammate was open. As he hesitated, he was already coming down. While he was descending, you wound up your left hand with a sharp SMACK. You delivered a block right in his face. The crowd gasped in unison. The commentators cried out, "Oh, my God." Hayes blocked Hakimura again. As the Wizards announcer, I hate his blocks. But objectively speaking, I must say, his blocking ability is incredible. Official data says Hayes only 1.92 meters tall, yet he has such elite rim protection. Truly rare. It reminds me of D-Wade. I looked at his stats from last game. He actually, oh my god, he had 10 blocks in the last game. Unbelievable. On court, the light in Hachimura's eyes faded once again. Wizards coach Brooks saw this and frowned. It was only the first play. Hachimura's newfound courage was instantly crushed. This can't continue. Losing the game is fine, but players can't lose their confidence. Before he completely shuts down, he needs to rebuild his spirit. Within this very game, with that thought, he subbed Hachimura out at the dead ball. Hachimura sat on the bench, head still down, eyes vacant. Coach Brooks handed him a water bottle. Hachimura took it blankly. He drank numbly. Brooks asked, "Rui, did you forget what you said? You said you'd blow past him. That you'd school him for your seniors? That you'd teach him a lesson. Have you forgotten all that?" Hachimura's eyes flickered slightly. Coach Brooks continued, "Think about it. The words have been spoken. If you can't back them up and get crushed by him instead, how humiliating will that be? Your country, your family and friends, how will they look at you?" Hachimura's eyes began to flicker. He gripped the water bottle tightly. With force, the bottle crunched in his hand. Coach Brooks knew his words worked. Hachimura was now fired up, but he didn't sub him in yet. He knew full well that Hachimura was filled with rage, but rage alone isn't enough. In Hachimura's current state, if he only has rage, he will only make more mistakes. So he had to calm him down first. Coach Brooks handed Hachimura another towel. His voice softened significantly. "I won't play you in the third quarter. Reflect on your performance. It'll give you one last shot in the fourth. If you seize it, you will grow. If you don't, I won't use you anymore. You won't get even a minute of play. Do you understand?" Hachimura nodded firmly. "I understand." Coach Brooks, of course, wouldn't bench him forever. Hachimura has improved a lot this season. His PPG rose from 13 to 17. No matter how foolish a coach is, he wouldn't keep such a scorer permanently on the bench. He only said that to pressure and motivate to help him snap out of it. For the rest of the third, Hachimura indeed didn't play. The Wizards lost a steady third option, yet the deficit didn't grow. Instead, they quickly tied it up because Westbrook exploded without warning. In just 5 minutes, he scored 15 points inside and out. The arena DJ's voice rang out repeatedly. 2 points on the dunk by Westbrook. Russ ignited the entire crowd. Over 22,000 spectators, shouted Brody frantically. Brody. Brody is one of his US nicknames, and it's his favorite. Westbrook wasn't just scoring, he also grabbed 4 assists, leading the Wizards by the end of the third to a successful 9,385 lead. On the Penguin NBA stream, praise for Russ flooded the chat. "Russ is a beast. Westbrook, awesome. 666. My baby Russ is going God mode." During the break, the Lakers' morale was a bit low, though they play 82 games a year and have seen many blown leads. Swinging from 10 to 8, their emotions didn't fluctuate too much. But being down by 8 after all, everyone was inevitably a bit quiet. During Russ's 5-minute explosion, you only played the last 2 minutes. You witnessed his eruption firsthand. Some players are unstoppable when hot. At this moment, Coach Vogel was instructing the team. They couldn't let Westbrook stay crazy. Double team him? You must double team him. Force him to pass. Understand? The players nodded. James naturally agreed. LeBron's individual defense is strong, but he is older now and has to run the offense. To preserve his stamina, he couldn't guard Russ too early. Despite these arrangements, the coach felt uneasy. If they double Russ and he passes the ball, the Lakers will face a numbers deficit. Passing to others is fine. But if he finds the talented Bell, won't Bell explode as well? If someone could guard Russ solo, that would be much better. But with Russ in Megatron mode, who else can stop him? Caruso can't. Pope can't either. While thinking, Vogel's gaze fell on you. He recalled your elite lateral speed. He remembered you shutting down Schroeder. Westbrook and Schroeder are both extremely fast. Just then, your eyes met the head coach's. Your eyes were full of passion. Vogel felt a sudden spark. You were waiting for the duel with Russ? Many get excited facing stars, but your level of intensity was a first for him. That thirst for battle was overflowing from your eyes. Wong, you guard Westbrook in the fourth. Coach Vogel gave the order. Suddenly, you felt a pre-battle rush of adrenaline. Vogel's hunch was correct. You've loved competing since childhood, and what you love most is challenging those stronger than you. It makes you extremely excited. You were born for the fight? One could say your drive rivals MJ and Kobe. Start of the fourth quarter. Normally, this would be James's rest time, but down by 8 today. Coach Vogel had to keep James on the floor. On the Wizards side, Westbrook was in. Bell took a breather. Wizards possession. Westbrook brought it up. Past half court, you stepped up to face him, legs spread, arms wide. The commentator saw this and teased, "What's this? Lakers 1 wants to solo Russ. Is Vogel senile?" At a time like this, instead of doubling, he sends an ordinary-looking Asian guy to guard Russ. Does he not know how explosive Westbrook is? Sure, after the injuries, Hayes not what he once was, but Hayes still miles ahead of this guy. Vogel will pay the price. The Lakers will pay, and this kid might pay with his life. The two announcers burst out laughing. Meanwhile, Russ began his drive. Head watched your game versus Duke. Head even studied your defense. Unlike the others, he didn't take you lightly. He dribbled slowly, staring you down. Suddenly, he crossed his legs. After a signature he lunged off his right foot. Like an arrow from a bow, he surged forward. Only someone with Russ's power could make that step so sharp. Against such a fierce drive, your 20 fun Taram speed boost simply wasn't enough. You needed anticipation, but you had studied Russ too. As a primary target, you'd watched him 100 times. The moment he started his move, judging by his habitual glance, right? You predicted his direction, almost as he moved. You shifted, right? Westbrook's scissors is indeed a sharp weapon, but it has a flaw. If something unexpected happens, he can't adjust in time. Seeing you blocking his path, he couldn't break. He slammed right into you. A dull thud echoed. You were sent flying back. Westbrook hit the floor too. The whistle blew sharply. From the looks of it, Russ exploded fast, and you moved just as fast. Both of you went down, but the ref signaled at his waist. Blocking foul, Lakers won. You frowned slightly. You both moved at once. Despite the 20 fun Taram speed boost, you were only a split second faster, reaching the defensive spot in a flash. It's hard for a ref to see, even with a challenge and a replay. On such close calls, rules tend to favor the offense. Time for a different strategy. James and Caruso pulled you up. James leaned into your ear. If you can't stop the drive, don't bother fouling. Let him in. Ill help over. You understood immediately, back when Russ was a Rocket and faced the Lakers in the playoffs. During that series, James blocked him many times. Wizards inbound, Westbrook with the ball again. Another attack. You gave him 2 steps of space, sagging off to stop the drive. His jumper was never stable. Let him take a couple. Let's see how he shoots. Westbrook sees you're letting him shoot. He didn't hesitate at all. He pulled up right at the 3-point line. Clang. A bricked 3. Turning back around, the Lakers are on the attack. James assists Caruso for a 3. The Wizards go on offense again. You continue to dare him to shoot. Westbrook missed just now, and hasn't tried shooting since. He dribbles right up to you. You've already retreated to the foul line. Westbrook keeps pressing in. You can't back up any further. When Hayes a meter away, he suddenly launches a You keenly notice that before the start. He switched to a right-hand dribble. Often before a drive, after dribbling with the right, Westbrook's scissor step drive might not be a direct charge, but a step-back jumper to the left. Sure enough, midway through the move, he suddenly gathers the ball. He pulls away to the left. Then comes his signature zombie jumper. His release point is very high. Normally, it's impossible to block, but since you anticipated the move, you jumped just before he did. As he raised the ball, you swatted it down with a huge block. The commentator cried out, "Oh, my God, he blocked Russ. Oh my God." The Lakers seized the opportunity. Fast break counterattack. You finish the layup for 2. Vogel's eyes light up on the sideline. He actually stopped him. Few in the league can stop Russ's drive. Wong actually did it. Turning back around. The Wizards attack again. Russ doesn't use the scissor step now. He calls Bell for a pick. 2 players. With elite individual skills, the PRS lethality is terrifying. Normally, the Lakers would switch everything. You should switch onto Bell, but after the screen, Russ isn't even looking at Bell. Through hundreds of hours of film, you know he won't pass back. Hayes planning to attack the rim, so you don't switch. You abandon Bell and chase Russ to the basket. James has already moved in to help. Russ has felt firsthand how strong James's blocks are. He fakes from the right, but while in midair, he double clutches to dodge James. He switches the ball to his left, a left-handed underhand layup. Seeing the ball fly toward the board, Russ feels hell relieved. As long as he dodges LeBron, this shot is a sure thing. However, at that moment, a purple shadow flies past him. Smack! A palm slams hard onto the ball. It crashes against the backboard. It bounces far away. Over 20,000 fans in the arena all gasp in shock again. All Russ sees is the big number on the purple jersey. It's actually that guy from the East. His face is filled with shock. He knew the Chinese player could block, but this level is just absurd. How many blocks has he had now? 7 or 8. Little did he know, the reason you got the block was knowing his move against James, head surely double clutch from the left. Behind your high block rate is day after day of analyzing every player. Lakers fast break. Another 2 points, Russ says as he passes. Hey, man, that last play was pretty good, but I have more in the tank, so you'd better watch out. This wasn't really trash talk. Hayes always liked Chinese culture. Hayes worn temp suits to pressers before. Seeing you block him, his praise is genuine. You nod. Confidently, I have more too. Bring it on. This isn't trash talk either. It's like friends playing one-ioni. Russ tries to drive on you twice more, but the more he tries, the more confused he gets. No matter how he drives, the Chinese player knows his next move. He always adjusts his defense early. It's as if he can see the future. This is just ridiculous. This ancient land is mysterious, and its players are too. The Wizards head coach sees Russ's struggle. he subs in Hachimura during a dead ball. Before Hachimura goes in, the coach tells him, "Remember, this is your last chance." Hachimura nods solemnly. Then he looks your way. His eyes full of anger and fire. Russ has matured now. Hei's not as stubborn as before. Hei's not trying to force it. Since the defense is so strong, he'll pass and assist more. On the next play, he fakes another drive. He collapses the Lakers' defense. Then he kicks it to the left wing, into an open Butler's hands. Butler has less than a second to shoot. This time, he doesn't hesitate. He catches and pulls up. His eyes are full of resolve. Swish. Nothing but net. After landing, he clenches his fists tight. He pumps them in the air, letting out a suppressed roar. The dying flame in his chest is reignited once more. After the fist pump, he looks your way again. He wants to rebuild his confidence. He must beat this Chinese player. You shake your head slightly. Someone is looking for trouble. But you're guarding Russ now? So you ignore him for now? At the right moment, you'll shut him down completely. He won't dare show off again? Hell, have to walk around you. Over the next few possessions, under your tight defense, Russ tried shooting twice. Maybe because the burst ended. Those 2 shots were weak. Plus, you locked him down. Even if he got inside, James and Drummond were there. So Russ had to pass out. But Hachimura was scoring. 2 mid-range shots. 1 dunk. 2 hooks in the paint. Successful on offense. Hei's energetic on defense. Blocked Drummond's second chance. Contested James's layup. Another defensive stop. Caruso's 2 for second violation rejuvenated him. Hei's like a spark plug now. After every good play, he pumps his fists, roaring loudly. The emotions of the crowd reached a climax because of him. The coach breathed a sigh of relief. Hachimura is finally alive. Now, Hachimura looks at you. With obvious provocation, even becoming a bit arrogant, you check the game clock, shaking your head secretly. It's not time yet. Under Hachimura's lead, the Lakers are down by 13. Luckily, James takes over, hitting 2 threes in a row, another in plus a mid-range shot, keeping the Lakers in the game. With 5 minutes left, the Lakers are only down by 4. The final 5 minutes, a difference within 5 points, is defined as clutch time, and this is the turning point. The camera cuts to James. The players all look to him. James is now 38 years old. His stamina is flagging. Usually, he closes the game. But trailing by so much today, he had to push early. In these last few minutes, driving and shooting, he had 11 points and 3 assists. Hei's gasping for air now. He wipes sweat with a towel. He takes water from the coach. He gulps it down. His Adam's apple bobs. The coach feels for him. A 38-year-old veteran shouldn't have to push so hard. Even if he goes back in, given his current energy, can he last 5 more minutes? Hypothetically, even if he forces himself to hit many clutch shots and win the game. Is it really worth it? This is just the regular season. The fuel left in James's tank is for the playoffs or finals. Using him up in the regular season is simply not a good trade-off. Thinking of this, Vogel's lips move slightly. He wants to tell James, winning is great, of course, but don't kill yourself for it. But as the head coach, he also has to consider the other players' feelings. The others have also been fighting for almost the whole game. By saying this now, what would the players think? They haven't given up yet, but the coach gave up first. Vogel was now caught in a dilemma. Among the players, some veterans understood what Vogel was thinking, but young players like Kuzma and Caruso didn't quite understand. In their eyes, there were still 5 minutes left in the game. The lead was only 4 points. This game is still winnable. For a moment, the veterans all looked to the head coach. It depended on how the coach weighed the options. But everyone knew that regardless of the coach's final choice, it would hurt the Lakers in some way. Choosing to go for the win would take a physical toll on LeBron. Choosing a strategic surrender would crush the morale of the young players. Tazzle, you're a young player too. You can't truly feel how much physical functions decline with age. So, you didn't know what the coach and veterans thought, but you saw the coach was in a tough spot. After a brief hesitation, you walked up to Coach Vogel and said, "Coach, if there's any trouble, give me the ball." As soon as those words were out, the Lakers players were all stunned. Give me the ball. It sounds very dominant, but there are 2 prerequisites. First, you must have the skill. Back when Kobe was here, only he was qualified to say that. No one dared to question his skill or status. Now on the Lakers, even LeBron has never said such a thing. LeBron certainly has the status. He has the skill to, but he is a team player. In clutch moments, hell, make what he thinks is the best choice. Now, you, a 10-day contract player, at such a critical moment, actually said something like that. To them, it sounded like a fantasy. But considering your previous boast, "I'm here to conquer the NBA," saying this now, wasn't that surprising? But anyone can talk big. Whether you can turn it into reality is the hard part. Coach Vogel looked at you. You were standing tall and straight, like a spear pointing at the sky, young and confident, full of vitality, especially in your eyes. There was a burning hunger for battle. That kind of hunger, Vogel had seen it in a young Jordan. And in Kobe, before. Now, he saw it again in you. At that moment, he knew this kid's fighting spirit. was no less than Jordan's or Kobe's. Vogel felt a stir in his heart. He turned to look at LeBron. LeBron was also looking at him. In you, he seemed to see a shadow of his old big brother, Kobe Bryant. After a moment, LeBron nodded to Vogel. Let him try. Vogel also nodded. Wong, it'll give you 2 possessions to try. Try for 2 possessions first. If it doesn't work out, LeBron will take over. This effectively gives LeBron a 2-play rest. For LeBron right now, every second of rest is precious. Seeing the coach agree, you couldn't help but clench your fists. The blood in your chest was boiling. In the 10-cent NBA stream, Duan Ran asked Ju Fangyu next to him. It's crunch time now. The Lakers are down by 4. How do you think they should play next? Ju Fangyu thought for a moment. He replied, if the Lakers want to win, it's very simple. Give the ball to LeBron. After all, the other Lakers lack the ability to play tough in the clutch. But doing that takes too much out of LeBron physically. Is it still worth doing? Duan agreed. Indeed, LeBron can't overexert in the regular season, so is there a possibility that the Lakers give the ball to Wang Yi? He performed great in the last 3 games. Ha ha ha. Upon hearing this, Ju Fangyu burst out laughing. He kept shaking his head. He clearly thought Duan Ran's words were absurd. Wang Yi's last 3 games weren't bad. The coach even rewarded him by giving him plenty of minutes today. Hayes been on for the whole 4th quarter, but he hasn't proven his clutch ability yet, and his seniority is far from enough to get the clutch ball. So in these final 5 minutes, if Hayes lucky, he'll get a pass and make 2 or 3 shots. That would already be very good. Becoming a clutch player is earned through years of elite performance. It's not just about having 3 good games. The team won't just give you the clutch ball. Back from the timeout, Lakers possession. LeBron dribbled to the front court. He isn't like he was in his youth. Possessing league-wide dominance, teams don't always double-team him anymore. But due to his strong play just now, 2 Wizards players started to double LeBron. LeBron is a seasoned veteran. Seeing the double team, he passed early, finding you at the left for 5-degree angle. Since your threes weren't falling today, Westbrook didn't guard you too closely. There was a brief window for a 3. In that split second, you didn't hesitate for a moment. You pulled up and shot. The previous 3-point training didn't just improve your accuracy, but also significantly increased your release speed. Seizing that brief window, you resolutely fired. Westbrook had no time to block it. The shot had a flat arc. Swish. The ball exploded into the hoop like a shell. The net was like white flames. Rippling up from the rim, the lead was cut to 1 point. Seeing this, Rui said as he passed by you, then let the final showdown begin. He then sprinted to the front court. But just then, from behind him, came your nonchalant reply, "Are you even worthy?" With just those words, Hakimura's anger instantly flared up. He turned his head and hissed, "I'll show you if I'm worthy." The Wizards went on the attack. Westbrook made a feint and passed to Bell. Bell and Hakimura ran a pick, dribbling in 2 steps. He passed back to the hot-ended. Hakimura had just made several in a row, and his confidence was overflowing. Though he was guarded by Drummond, he made a simple spin move. He jumped up to shoot. But at that exact moment, a purple shadow flew in from behind. Smack, a clean block sent the ball flying. He only saw the large number on that purple back. 1. You bastard. Hakimura cursed under his breath. He glared at number 1 and rushed back to defend. On the other end, the Lakers were on a fast break. You sprinted down the court. You started behind Hachimura, but you were faster than him. By the time you reached the front court, Caruso's pass found you. You caught it for a transition 3, but Hakimura had caught up. With a roar, he leaped to block your shot. You anticipated his block attempt. You pulled the ball back. After Hachimura flew past, you calmly took the 3. The arc was still flat. Boom. The ball hit the net like a cannonball. The Lakers were up by 2. You clenched your fist tight. The rhythm for the 3 was back. The Wizards coach was cautious and quickly called a short timeout. Gathering the players, he pointed at you and yelled, "Bell, stick to him like glue. Don't let him take another 3. Got it." Bell nodded. The coach continued, "Rui, don't lose confidence. If you have the shot, keep shooting." Hachimura also nodded solemnly. Meanwhile, on the Lakers side, everyone from the coach to players high-fived you. When you said to give you the ball, they were all a bit skeptical. But now, with 2 threes and a block, the score had been flipped in an instant. Most importantly, the fighting spirit radiating from you, that confidence, always makes people's blood boil. Even the battle-hardened LeBron couldn't help but feel a hint of envy. He shook his head slightly and sighed, being young is so damn good. In the 10-cent NBA stream, Duan Ran turned to Ju Feng. "Mr. Ju, what do you say now?" Ju Fengyu knew what Duan Ran meant and couldn't help but laugh again. He joked, "Like I said before, if Wang Yi can score 2 or 3 in the clutch, it's actually quite good. Now it's exactly as I said, 2 shots made. But the closer we get to crunch time, the fewer touches he'll get, and the Wizards won't give him open 3s anymore. So those 2 shots are likely his limit." The 20-second timeout passed in a flash. Returning to the court, the Wizards continued their attack. Westbrook and Bell ran a pick. Then Westbrook hit a signature stop-and-pop jumper. Lay on pointer. The lead was erased. Turning back, the Lakers wanted to keep looking for you, but this time, they were glued to you. You tried to call for a screen, but the Wizards kept switching defenders. They stayed right on you. After several off-ball runs, you finally found an opening to catch the ball, but as soon as you touched it, Westbrook and Bell swarmed you almost instantly. They gave you no chance for a three. You simply gave up on the three. Since those two lunged so hard, you blew past them with a left-handed drive. Hachimura, guarding the paint, immediately stepped up to defend. He roared, "Don't even think about it?" Seeing Hachimura commit, you remained calm. In your mind, you said use unstoppable mid-range card. Then you came to a sudden stop, pulled up, and fired. The ball cleared Hachimura's fingertips and flew toward the hoop. Unlike before, when you fired those cannon-like threes, your touch this time was incredibly soft. The ball hit the net with extreme lightness, as if it were light as a feather. Hachimura cursed inwardly, "Damn it." Of course, no one paid much attention to this jumper. In their eyes, your biggest threat was still your three-pointer. It was just a mid-range shot, nothing to get worked up about. Back on the other end, the Wizards used Westbrook's explosive drive. Scored 2 points. Lakers possession. You curled around a screen. Bell chased you hard past the three-point line. Catching the ball again, watching Bell lunge forward. You put the ball on the floor again, effortlessly blowing past him. Returning to the free throw line, Hachimura stepped up from the paint. You pulled up just like before. The ball floated gently into the net, the exact same way as before, from the exact same spot. Then Bell hit a shot for the Wizards. On the Lakers' offensive possession, James held the ball at the top of the key. While you were curling high for a screen, you suddenly cut toward the baseline. Bell couldn't react in time, leaving a momentary opening. James is the type of player who, if you're open, will get the ball to you. That was exactly the case now. Seizing that brief window, he fired the pass over. You were at the right for 5-degree mid-range area. Since you had just made 2 jumpers, Hachimura was already watching you. Hachimura was prepared this time. If you caught it and then jumped, Hachimura would be able to block it. So, you made a stunning move. You didn't wait to land to shoot. Instead, after catching it in the air, you went straight into your shooting form. Released it with a flick of the wrist. Hachimura. Though he closed out faster than before, your shot was even faster. The ball sailed over Hachimura's head, traveling along a soft arc, and dropped lightly into the hoop. Oh my god. Heavens, how did he do that? An alley-oop mid-range jumper? That's too accurate. Even the Wizards fans at the arena were letting out gasps of surprise. The courtside commentator shouted in shock, "Oh my, this Easterner, an alley-oop mid-range shot." Though I hate to admit it, I have to say, so far, this is the best highlight of the night. Lakers players swarmed to high-five you, partly to celebrate and partly to catch some of your hot hand. James slapped you on the back. "Brother, those hands of yours are amazing." Hachimura's expression was complicated. He said he'd teach this Chinese guy a lesson, but he'd been bested several times tonight. Now, in this critical moment, Head allowed 3 consecutive mid-range jumpers right over his head. This last one was just ridiculous. An alley-oop mid-range shot, of all things. How could he respond? The guy turned back around. Wizards ball. The ball was handed to Hachimura. He spun left, followed by a right hook, right under the basket. Then he went for the hook shot. But halfway through his motion, smack, a huge block. You swatted the ball down fiercely. Hachimura looked back. It was that Easterner again. Hachimura. The momentum the coach had built up for him was already shaky. Now it was mostly crushed by your block. Why was this Chinese guy targeting him? It felt like every time he shot, he would definitely get blocked. Damn it. This is infuriating. What a jerk. Hachimura glanced at his coach. The coach's gaze was dark. He remembered what the coach said earlier. If you don't seize this chance, there won't be another. He pulled back his gaze, clenched his fists tightly. Looking at you, his eyes grew more vicious. By now, Caruso had brought the ball up. You were already curling around screens. Hachimura rushed to the perimeter. After 2 loops, you got the ball. At the left baseline mid, you pulled up to shoot. Hachimura had just caught up. Seeing you about to shoot again, he roared, "Die." Then he lunged at you. You were already in the air. Hachimura slammed into you. As you lost your balance, you used your soft touch to flick the ball. Then you fell out of bounds, and that fall sent you right into the arms of a beauty. Only then did the ball drop gently through the net. Hachimura also hit the floor, sliding over 3 meters. His head slammed into the courtside camera lens, making him wince in pain. Seeing that, even a foul couldn't stop you from scoring. He punched the floor hard. The referee's whistle blew sharply. The official rushed over. Caruso, Kuzma, and James ran over. The 3 of them surrounded Hachimura, shouting, "Is this basketball? You're attacking him? So dirty? You're a dirty player. Guys, like, you shouldn't be on the court." The referee quickly intervened. To keep the situation from escalating, security guards rushed over, holding back players trying to join the fray. You stood up from the girl's lap, gently patted her head, and gave her an apologetic smile. The girl was a Wizards fan, but seeing your smile, she couldn't help but think, this Eastern guy is actually quite handsome. The referee reviewed the footage. The final ruling, Lakers ball, and don't. Hachimura, flagrant 1. Lakers get an extra free throw. After you sank the free throw, the Wizards head coach called a timeout. In Washington, he could see Hachimura was losing his mind. He had to call a timeout to to let him cool down. Plus, since those 2 threes, you had made 6 consecutive shots, 2 threes, and for mid-range jumpers, this scoring efficiency was terrifying. It felt as if you would never miss. Rui, you need to calm down. It's just one game. He just happens to be in the zone today. No need to get yourself tossed for this. If you want to play him again, there will be plenty of time later. Right now, just focus on what you're good at: positioning, rebounding, and second chance points. No need to pick a fight with him. Understand, Hakimura nodded mechanically. But at that moment, in his mind, he unexpectedly recalled the 3 words you said earlier. Are you worthy on the other side? Lakers coach Vogel put his arm around you. Next, the Wizards will focus their defense on you. They might even use it. If they double you, pass to the open man immediately. Got it. However, naturally, you weren't going to listen. With a 100 Funtarum mid-range shooting percentage, why would you pass? But you couldn't tell the coach that directly. So you hesitated briefly and said, Coach, do you trust me? Of course I do. As a coach, Vogel couldn't possibly say I don't trust you to a player. You continued, then give me the ball. It'll give you a victory. As soon as these words were spoken, all the surrounding teammates looked at this Asian man in shock, wondering why he was so confident. The game took a sudden turn. No one can claim a 100 Funtaram chance of victory. Even for a super team, it's possible to stumble against an underdog. With astonishment in his eyes, James sized you up from head to toe. How can this guy be so confident? Hayes, even more confident than James was in his youth. The coach, equally surprised, turned his gaze toward James. James gave the coach a subtle nod. It wasn't that he truly believed you, but he felt it was worth a shot. Hayes getting older now, and often feels his body can't keep up. He seems to get injured every other day. The Lakers need to develop a consistent scorer. If you can really become a reliable scoring threat, then games will be much easier for the Lakers. The coach's thoughts mirrored James's. He told the Lakers players, give the ball to Wong, perhaps next. We'll witness an amazing scoring performance. The players looked at the coach in surprise. One is bold enough to say it. The other is bold enough to do it. The coach actually believed you. Back from the timeout, the Wizards are on the attack. Westbrook assists Bell for a bucket. Back on the other end, James brings the ball across half court. You continue to run off screens. But now, the Wizards aren't just using one man to shadow you. Instead, when you round a Wizards defender, if one player can't keep up, another quickly rotates to cover. This way, you can't lose them just by running through their players. You must use your teammates' screens. You ran for a full 18 seconds. Before you finally got an opening, you catch the ball at the 4 or 5 degree arc, feigning a move. Westbrook and Bell lunged at you almost simultaneously. But just like before, it was only a pump fake. You take a step in, crossing the arc without shooting. Instead, toward Taluso in the left corner, you made a pass. Fake, shaking off another defender. Now, only Hakimura is left in the Wizards' paint. Facing Hakimura, you don't shoot immediately. Instead, with a subtle movement almost too small to notice, but visible to Hakimura, you beckoned him with your hand, as if saying, come get some. The Wizards' head coach had warned not to let Hakimura match up against you, but now, Hayes the only one in front of you. He can only lunge at you once more. To try for the block, he closed out very quickly. He jumped very high, too. He felt that in any normal situation, he could have blocked that shot 100 Funtarum, but you took a fadeaway jumper. The ball sailed just past Hakimura's fingertips. Talk about being completely out of reach. This is it. Hakimura watched in despair as the ball cleared his fingers, flew over his head, and switched. Once again, he heard that loathsome sound from behind. The commentators kept gasping in awe, and so did the entire crowd. Your performance during this stretch was simply too visually stunning. But to Hakimura, it felt like mockery. It was pure irony. Since the Lakers trailed by 4 with 5 minutes left, he has now gone 7 for 7. Is this guy even human? Hayes not human at all. Hayes, too accurate. Way too accurate. Even the Wizards' home fans couldn't help but marvel at your terrifying accuracy. And next, the Wizards used Westbrook's penetration to score another 2 points. On the other end, you're back to running screens. This time, the Wizards intensified their defense on you. Basically, whenever you have a chance to receive the ball, 2 Wizards players immediately swarm you, but you showed no fear. After catching the ball in the right corner, you faked out to Wizards defenders. You still didn't shoot. Instead, you dribbled right up to Then, you finally released a floater. Swish, another clean bucket. Hakimura finally realized it. This guy won't shoot over anyone else. He insists on shooting right over me. Is he trying to humiliate me? The problem was, even as you humiliated him, he couldn't fight back. On offense, he couldn't get the ball. Even when he did, you'd block him with everything you had. On defense, you targeted him specifically, and he couldn't stop your mid-range jumper at all. To him, this guy's jumper was like a machine. It was absolutely ridiculous. Under this constant onslaught, Hakimura's anger faded, replaced by a growing sense of despair. He even had the illusion that this guy was unbeatable. Seeing this, the head coach's heart sank instantly. Hakimura was about to break again. On the defensive end, The moment you saw Hachimura get the ball, you'd risk everything to block him. Even if it meant leaving your own man, you'd lunge for the block. Anyone else scoring was fine, but not Hachimura. And when the Lakers were on offense, you targeted Hachimura specifically. You always ran right in front of him to shoot. You wouldn't shoot when open. You insisted on shooting right in his face. Under this relentless pressure, Hachimura broke once again. From then on, every time you touched the ball, the Wizards' home fans had their hearts in their throats. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the net repeated, your shot seemed like it would never miss. Not only did the opponents watch Whitey, but so did your teammates and the announcers. The fans were the same. Everyone's eyes were wide in disbelief. The sentiment in the Tencent NBH shifted once again. Darn, can Brother Yi even miss a shot? Since those 2 3-point, he has gone 10 for 10. This is insane. Is he about to take down the whole team alone? Did you guys notice? Now, almost every single shot is taken right over Go Brother Yi. Awesome because of this incredible performance. The fans seem to have temporarily forgotten your previous bold claims. Duan ran with a mischievous grin. Looked at Zhu Fengyu again. Director Zhu, what do you say about Wang Yi's performance? Zhu Fengyu gave a wry smile. What can I say? Wang Yi is in the zone. He's destroying anyone in his path. Like a god of war, the Wizards simply can't stop him. As they spoke, you were seen taking the ball again on screen. Here he comes again. Let's see if this one goes in. Oh my god. Incredible. He's on fire. This is just unreasonable. Facing the Wizards, shooting over 3 players including Hakim, he actually made it. It truly defied all logic. In the arena, the buzzer sounded. The final score was 128,120. Lakers win. In those final 5 minutes, you shot Sherar with loud 3-pointers, 10 for 10 from 2-point range, and 1 for 1 from the free throw line. A frantic 27 points in just 5 minutes. You finished with 32 points total, 10 assists, another strange double. You truly took down the Wizards by yourself. The moment the buzzer sounded, Hachimura hung his head in exhaustion. He didn't shake hands with any Lakers, or offer a greeting. He ignored all the fans at courtside. Head down, rushing toward the tunnel. Gone. After the head coaches embraced, the Wizards coach hurried after him. Hachimura walked in silence. Head down. The coach's heart sank to the bottom. Losing a game isn't the worst thing. Losing a player's confidence is, and Hachimura has clearly lost his. This kind of state might take a long time to heal, or he might never recover from it. On the court, Wizards players walked over. To greet the Lakers, Westbrook hugged you and said half-jokingly, You were a complete nobody in the NBA before. It's normal that Westbrook didn't know you. You were about to reply. But before you could finish, Westbrook said, Wang Yi? I know. You were slightly surprised. But on second thought, it made sense. Westbrook has always been friendly toward China. Even during his time with the Rockets, when the Maury incident happened, he wore temp suits to press conferences several times. So it's understandable that Westbrook would pay more attention to an Asian player. Westbrook continued, You said you came to conquer the NBA? Were you serious? You nodded firmly. Yes, you replied without a hint of hesitation. Westbrook nodded. If you want to conquer the NBA, tonight's performance alone isn't enough. You have to deliver more amazing and great games. You have to, one by one, dominate every superstar in the NBA, then win over all the legends. And finally, all the fans. You'll face mockery and abuse along the way, and even malicious attacks. You must be mentally prepared. You nodded. Thank you. I will. Westbrook patted your back firmly and said goodbye. Now you looked around the arena. Most of the Wizards fans had already left. Look, the arena just now suddenly feels much emptier. But in the left stands, there are about 30 Chinese fans. They are all dressed in bright red, still holding signs saying Go Wang Yi, waving, hoping you'll see them. Your heart warms. In a foreign land, nothing is more touching than support from your compatriots. You raise your hand and wave to them. The fans get even more excited, shouting, Go Brother Yi, I love you. A staff member walks over, saying to you, Wang TNT's beautiful reporter Kristen Leth is coming to interview you. Please be ready. You look over at the sidelines. There are indeed several reporters, mostly beautiful women, and among them, the TNT reporter is the most stunning and the most famous. TNT is a Time Warner network, specializing in sports programming. In the United States, TNT is one of the 2 most well-known sports television networks. Usually, after every game, TNT and ESPN pick their interviewees first. Other networks only get role players. Among these reporters, you also see a familiar figure, Chinese reporter Zhou Lingyan. Compared to the other reporters, she isn't as famous. She's scanning the players, like a wolf eyeing its prey. However, her gaze lingers mostly on role players. She knows her status in the NBA allows her only to interview role players. Even though she's your compatriot, it's hard to arrange an interview with you. After all, you were tonight's star. Even big-name reporters are queued up. How could she get the chance? Then she catches your eye, giving you a sweet smile, and waves from a distance. But immediately after, she goes back to checking other players. You turn to the staff member. Can she interview me? The staff member looks apologetic. Sorry, this was arranged by I have no power to change it. I can't change it. You frown slightly. saying then, after TNT is done, have her come interview me? The staff member was surprised, saying, players usually only do one interview. Are you sure you want another reporter? Multiple interviews are allowed, provided the player agrees. You nod? Yes. The staff member nods. Okay, he'll go invite her. You watch TNT approaching, the beautiful reporter. Then look at Joe Lingen. I'm still not big enough. My words don't carry weight. One day, I will be the one to choose who gets to interview me. By then, TNT and ESPN can all wait their turn. Wait until the Chinese reporters are done. During the courtside interview, the TNT reporter asked 3 questions. First question, Wang, before this game, you made a bold claim, saying you came to conquer the NBA, upsetting almost everyone. Charles Barkley even said you'd never score 30 points again. If you did, he would kiss a donkey's butt again. Today you scored 32 points. What are your thoughts on that? You look at the reporter, she looks pretty, but has a devious mind. As a Chinese player, surviving in the Western NBA is hard. These reporters keep setting traps. You've already proven Berkeley wrong. Everyone knows that. Normal logic dictates if they are unkind to you, there's no need to be polite, since you've already slapped his face. When asked this question, you should naturally mock him. Isn't that what many NBA stars do? But your conquering the NBA claim has already caused enough outrage. If you say something inappropriate now, these reporters will surely exaggerate it, making fans' impression of you even worse. Saying you'll conquer the NBA was the truth. If it caused trouble, so be it. But there's no need for extra trouble now. Facing the female reporter, you give a reserved Eastern smile, saying, I believe in Charles. The reporter was momentarily stunned. She expected a long, mocking rant, so she could write a big story later. Unexpectedly, your answer was brief. I believe in Charles. It sounds very friendly. Nothing wrong with it at all. But if you think about it, that's not quite the case, Berkeley said. If you score over 30, head kiss a donkey's butt, by saying you believe him, aren't you forcing him to do it? There seems to be a story here, but the words are ambiguous. No matter how big the story is, one simple explanation clears it up. I just said I believe Charles. Nothing more than that. The reporter is twisting my words. Thinking of this, the reporter's view of you deepened a bit more. This Chinese man isn't simple. So she threw another sharp question. Hakimura said, head teach you a lesson. He only had 15 PTs and 5 rebs. You had 32 points in blocks. 20 of those were on him, plus 6 blocks against him. Regarding such an opponent, what do you have to say? Regarding this question, you asked, is he my opponent? The reporter was confused. Countering, is he not? You smiled with a hint of intimacy, denying I never saw him as one. This remains ambiguous. It could mean you don't see him as an enemy, but as a friend or something? Or it could mean he was never even in your league. Simply put, Hayes not worthy. With your expression and tone, any Chinese person would know it's the latter. NBA rules strictly forbid, during interviews, insulting or provoking opponents. Hakimura's pre-game declaration was borderline provocative. You just received word. The league will investigate later. If confirmed, Hakimura will face a fine or even a suspension. That's why you used ambiguity. The reporter saw you were evasive. She shook her head inwardly, asked a simple third question, and wrapped it up quickly. Only then did Joe Lingen rush over with a camera. She was slightly excited, saying to you, Wang Yi, thanks for the interview. When the staff notified me, I was a bit overwhelmed. You shake your head. Our NBA status is still too low. Joe, Lingen, and the cameraman both looked a bit dejected. No one feels this more than them. Chinese face discrimination in the West, and within the league, it is even more apparent. Domestic reporters on the sideline are always given the worst spots. During post-game interviews, they only get role players, hardly ever the big stars. Everyone knows this won't change overnight. They just have to endure it. There is no other way. But you lift your head with a confident, fighting smile. But I believe one day, our reporters can interview anyone, anywhere they want. And that day is not far away. Joe Lingen heard this and looked at you in surprise. She didn't know why you were so sure, but she was moved by your passion. Nodding, I believe it too. I believe it. The cameraman also nodded heavily. Me too. Of course, this was said privately. After the excitement passed, Joe signaled to start the camera. Let's begin. Then the camera footage streamed back to the Tencent NBA room. The two commentators there were discussing the game. When the view switched to you, their eyes lit up. They thought Joe couldn't get you. Unbelievably, she succeeded. Joe asked the first question. Wang Yi, you scored 32 points tonight, a double-double with blocks. With such a performance, your secret is, you had a smile on your face. This sounds much better. Unlike the foreign reporters' traps, you thought for a moment, answering maybe because they had, at this point, quickly act like it was a slip of the tongue. He hurriedly covered up, saying, Joppa, a player whose life is going quite well, so I played with more passion. As soon as he said this, the comments in the Penguin NBA stream exploded. Hey, Yaj is such a legend with the memes. Love you, Yaj. I'm officially a fan now? Decided, I'm rolling with Yaji from now on. Yaj. Just for that one line. I forgive your earlier wild talk. Even the haters didn't dare show their faces. Joe Linen couldn't help but want to laugh too, but as a professional reporter, he had to maintain a professional smile. As for laughing out loud, he couldn't, no matter how funny it was. He simply couldn't laugh. He could only hold back his laughter. And continue with the second question. You said before you came to conquer the NBA? What did you mean by that? He then repeated the question in English. This question, his intention was very clear. He wanted you to explain yourself. Your previous remarks offended too many people. If you could provide a good explanation now, like, I'm here to conquer NBA fans, or by conquer, I mean earning everyone's respect, or people misunderstood my meaning, it would surely improve people's impression of you. He was giving you a way out. You understood his meaning too, but you didn't explain? Instead, you simply said, I meant it literally. Joe Linen was stunned. He secretly shook his head. Seems you've really set your mind on this. Having ideals is a good thing, but under the current circumstances, for a player on a 10-day contract to say this, it's really quite inappropriate. Yet, Joe Linen secretly admired you. In this world, most don't dare speak their minds. He had imagined a scene like this, but never dared to act on it. Of those in the world who would dare, there are probably very few. At this thought, his gaze toward you held a new sense of wonder. After the interview ended, he asked if you were free later. He wanted to grab a meal too, thank you. You shook your head. After a quick shower, you had an overnight flight to Portland? I'm afraid I won't have time, Joe Linen said with a hint of regret. Then maybe next time. You nodded. On the bus heading to the airport, you received a call from your agent. The agency you signed with was the newly established CN agency. The boss behind it was Chinese American, but this boss clearly underestimated the power of NBA connections. So, CN agency wasn't doing very well. The players he signed were almost all those who couldn't get playing time. Your agent, Rose, was also Chinese American. She was also a rookie agent. First, no connections. Second, no money, only the most desperate players would sign with such an agency and such an agent. The players under her were currently all on short-term contracts. Then Rose called. Wang Yi Palinka just called me, he said after these 4 games. You've already proven yourself. He wants to convert you to a guaranteed contract early. A $5 million guaranteed contract. There was a hint of suppressed excitement in Rose's voice. $1 million. She would get a 4-fun Taram commission, which was $200,000. How could she not be excited? Then Rose continued. However, your performance has been beyond imagination. Should we wait for offers from other teams? I believe other teams with cap space will definitely offer a higher price. But you shook your head and said, no need to wait. These days,